Hi, welcome to the show. Welcome back to the Last of Us 2 Spoilercast. Welcome to part 2. I am joined again by Warren Barris. How's the marker?
They don't have any smell to them. That's fucking garbage.
Yeah, you can't even get high off these ones.
Bullshit.
Brandon Lynch is here.
Donate to Matt Eads so he can get scented markers.
Yes. Oh, man. New Patreon goal. Scented markers down here for the D&D studio.
Do you know what smells better than D&D players?
Nothing. I haven't found it.
D&D player smelling marker.
We're here in the longest spoiler cast by far of anything we've ever recorded. I was kind of shocked that we needed a second day here. But we got lots to talk about, so without any further ado, other than the only thing I want to say is if you're listening to the audio version, you might want to check out the video version, because if you listen to the first part, which hopefully you have by now, I cut in a bunch of clips and stuff. Those are all video clips as well, so if you're watching the video version, and let me know what you think of that. If you like it, if you think it's dumb, here's my thought. In 5 years, when we listen back to Spoilercast, which I often do, there's this fun little like slice in time. I remember when I was with the game, everything. It'll be way easier to remember these beats if you can just hear the beat again and like hear Joel and Tommy being like, I saved her.
Even if you don't ever watch the video one,
you still
I
get
think
the
just
audio
hearing the scene makes a world of difference.
Yeah, so let me know. Give me some feedback. I'd love to know what people think about that.
Also, you get to see me mean mug the camera every now and then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I threw in a solid 30-second shift the last one right at the end.
I saw because you're kind of like you're doing like a thumbs up.
Kind of leaned in and just fucking stared it down.
All sorts of audio, visual gags here on the video versions. Check that out if you're listening to the podcast. Don't eat that dice. All right, let's do it, Brandon.
Yes. So where we left off last time is right at the swap from Ellie to Abby.
That's right. Metal Gear 2. Yes. Oh shit! This game is not over.
So I think this is probably as good a place as any, honestly, to talk about what the fuck's going through your head when you realize, like, oh, I'm going to play half the game as this woman now. And someone that you need to have bought in based on the next few scenes that you were willing to play the next half of the game with her.
Yeah. Initially, I think like a lot of people, I was kind of, because it's, that first chunk is like almost the length of the first game in a way that I'm like, oh, okay, we'll see a little scene here, and then we'll probably
wrapping up. Yeah. Maybe this is the false ending, and then there's a nice little epilogue at the end. I'm probably 2-3 hours away from being done.
Really close. Yeah, this is that fake ending I keep hearing about. Yeah. And then you start playing as her, and I immediately was like, oh my god, this is Metal Gear 2.
Yeah. They did it. They did the thing.
Yeah, I was apprehensive because I'm like, man, that first part was good. It was long.
Yes.
And I don't like Abby right now. Like, at this point in the game, I still fucking hate Abby. I want Abby to die. Right. Especially because we just saw her, like, do Jesse and,
she didn't make any friends in that scene.
No,
absolutely not.
I went on this weird roller coaster thing where, like, when you do that first part and he plays Abby for the first time, I was like, oh, okay, so we're going to kind of split the game between these two. And then you do that. Like, obviously, you go a very long amount of time with just Ellie. And I'm like, oh, I guess you don't. And then when this started, I'm like, oh, I guess you do.
Yeah.
Okay, and like I kind of was the same as you guys, where I was like starting this at this very point. I guess I was more like not really caring too much about her.
Yeah.
But the video game connoisseur in me was like, okay, well they're obviously going to tell like her side of that 3 days is kind of what we're doing here. So it'll be cool to see like how they both got to the point where we just saw them at.
And I think that was where the length hit me was, and I'm jumping ahead just a little bit here, but when you get through this first flashback and it says Seattle day 1 again, and you're like, oh God, I'm doing another 3 days of Seattle.
It's buckle in, motherfuckers.
It's almost like I didn't believe the game at first. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, because it's basically like you're halfway is what that Seattle day 1. The second time he's just like, well, you just passed the halfway. Like the fuck,
There's
did.
No way.
Fuck you.
No.
Much like our podcast.
Yeah.
Where we realized we were only halfway and had to stop.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hop into the 4 years ago flashback we get for Abby that kind of kicks off her half of the game. She is, I don't know how old she is, but she's 4 years ago from where she is now.
Less buff.
Yes, slightly less buff. She's looking for her dad. We open up, she's looking for her dad.
We have no idea who her, I mean, a lot of us probably figured it out, but we haven't been told who her dad is, right? She's just looking for her dad.
No, I have no idea at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I think everyone, and I'm going to get into that, I think everyone kind of had their beat. Yeah. Where they're like, oh.
I think this was it for me, because the whole time you're like, how does she tie into this story? Like, what is Abby's fucking problem?
Yeah. I got the feeling that maybe it was way more personal than I was led to believe, but I had no idea that. Well, we'll get into it, but I had no idea the incorporation with the Fireflies and that he was a doctor and all that stuff. I didn't get until later in this flashback. Finds him after some little puzzles, and he's a bit of a nerd. Very nice fella, but a bit of an animal nerd and a coin nerd. Yeah, coins replace the superhero cards as your collectible.
He takes you to rescue that. This is where you rescue the zebra, right?
Yes. He's tracking a zebra. You find a just disgusting looking afterbirth at one point in here where I was like, I'm not ready for this in my life. I'm not mature enough for the afterbirth shot.
Show me Joel's ground beef face again. I can handle that. This is just the miracle of life too fucking far.
No, thanks.
Disgusting. So you track down the zebra and he wants to cut it loose.
Yes.
And if you haven't figured it out by now, you're walking through a zoo. You're kind of seeing the playground stuff, like the kids center stuff, and then also why the fuck's there a zebra here? Because you're at a zoo. And he gets you to cut the barbed wire, and this is where you get reintroduced to Owen, a younger Owen, who comes in. And when he comes up, he's very much in a hurry, and he's like, "Yo, we need to. What's this guy's name? Anderson. His last name's Anderson, but I can't remember his first name. Anyway." He's like, we need you down at the labs. Let's go. We got a motor. And he's like, no, we got to cut the zebra free.
Yeah.
So he helps you. Yep. He helps you cut the zebra free. He's affirmed himself as a carer for of life.
Yep.
He's a good
almost
man.
In a way that like, okay, I get people give the story rightfully. I think a lot of shit for being really heavy-handed in some spots, and this is totally one of them where you're like, okay,
yeah. It's like, oh, you're a good guy,
and literally the next thing we're gonna do is go into the fucking hospital. Okay,
yeah.
Last of Us, all right,
yeah. So I didn't know. So anyway, you free the zebra, and he's like, we need you down there, and it's. He's like, okay, let's go. And he says, the girl we've been hearing about. We picked her up in the sewers. She's going to be waiting for you down at the lab. We need you to get down there and prepare. And then it pans over and you see the hospital. And that was my beat. That was when I was like,
shit.
When they said
baby.
the girl in the sewer, that's where I finally clicked in as well.
Yeah.
Jerry Anderson.
Jerry Anderson.
Is the
dad.
Abby's dad's name.
Oh, so she's Abby Anderson.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Double A, for short.
If you didn't get it from that, they open the door and he's wearing the scrubs.
Yeah.
Next shot, they open the door. He's wearing the scrubs, the outfit of the Firefly doctors.
It's him from the beginning. That dude from the beginning of the game. Remember?
Yep. And which I didn't. I actually forgot they totally redid that intro completely.
Like, oh, the fuck is
until
this?
the second time, yeah. Well, I knew based on the ending of the first game. I did not remember him from the rehashing of the first game where he looked way better. We learn a lot here, and this is the part that me and Eads kind of read differently. Doc's talking to the Firefly leader, Marlene.
Sounds right.
And the Doc really wants to do this.
Yeah.
He's like, we have this. We can do this. But Marlene is very we're killing a girl if we do this.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because it's really fucked up.
Yeah, and.
In a way that you don't see that side of the Fireflies from.
No, and you don't see that side of Marlene.
If Joel had just
game.
overheard this fucking conversation, maybe things would all be fine, right?
It's intertwined with the brain. There's no other option.
There has to be some other way.
There's no way to remove the specimen without destroying the host.
The host? She's a child, not some petri dish.
You think I don't... I'm aware of the situation.
And you're okay with killing her?
No, I'm okay with developing a vaccine that'll help save millions of lives. How many Fireflies have died for less?
That was their choice. Are you asking me? Or are you telling me this is how it's gonna be?
I am begging you to buy in.
And what if this was Abby?
Look, everything that we've been fighting for, all the sacrifices, all of the horrific... all of that is justified with this one act.
If this was your daughter, what would you do?
Abby.
I'll buy you some dinner.
sneaky, sweetheart. Look, Marlene.
Do it.
We can get into the whole why didn't you just take a second thing that seems to be the crux of a lot of stories.
Marlene is, I don't remember her name, the love interest in the first DLC's mom, right?
I was led to believe that, yes.
No, is that true?
Yeah.
Riley's mom is Marlene?
I know Riley's
Because
mom was
doesn't
with
she-
the Fireflies.
She references something along the lines of, I've known Ellie since she was young or something, didn't she?
Yeah, there was something that they said in there that made me tie that all together. But I wasn't positive.
Look that up right now.
Anyway, while you're looking it up, we kind of get the incident. So Abby comes in and says, because Marlene is saying to no,
Her parents are just deceased. Her name's
Just
Riley
deceased?
Abel. Parents deceased. They're not. They're not
I don't
named.
know why I thought that.
no. I also thought that. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe we just put two and two together. Maybe I just have to confront a little bit of racism in me. The doc is saying to Marlene, we need to get this girl going. Marlene's like, no, we can't do it. Marlene's like, what would you do if it was your daughter? And he doesn't really answer that, but he's saying, I need you to buy in.
Yeah.
And Marlene's like, fine, I'll do it. I'll go get the girl from Joel. Abby overhears this, comes in and is like, well, if it was me, if I was a daughter, I'd want you to do it.
Hell yeah.
Just shut up, Abby.
Won me over right then and there.
Armchair fucking.
Yeah.
Well, if I was
That-
the one who had to
Smart
die, I could shut the
kid.
fuck up, Abby.
That is vintage of the internet, where it's
Yeah.
like, well, if it was me, I would do it.
Well, at least she got to choose.
She'd have flexed it off. It'd be no big deal.
Yeah.
Who knows what Ellie would have said if she got the choice, but she didn't get the choice because fucking Joel went in there shooting the place up.
Well, let's it's the worst written part of this whole series, because she would have got the choice if Joel didn't just go in and shoot everything.
Joel didn't have to just go in and shoot if Marlene
Right.
wasn't like,
Yes.
we got to do this now.
Right, but yeah, if the Fireflies were like, it's got to happen. Don't even let Joel in.
Right.
Like, I have no idea why. I guess the only reason is because they didn't have a better way to write it, but I have no idea why they wouldn't be like, why don't you just all like kind of have a little 3-person chat?
Yeah, maybe we can figure this out.
Yeah, and be like, well, what do you want? And what do you want? But no, it's just like, no, everything has to go fast and no one has time to think, so Joel's just going to go buck wild.
You know what else she could have told Joel? Because last he saw, she was drowning, right? Ellie?
Yes.
So she could have just told Joel she didn't make it.
She could have.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And then, hey, problem
Yeah,
solved.
maybe, but like Marlene seems to not be.
Yeah,
she's a
Marlene
way
seems
better
like-
person than Joel.
That's true.
She seems to be like maybe the only kind of good person in this whole fucking story.
But in the sense that she's also being like, we need to do this right now, which to me makes me think that she is afraid that if they give her the choice, she won't do it.
Yeah, I know.
Or she's afraid that if they give Joel
Right.
time, that
He'll-
Joel won't do it no
yeah.
matter what Ellie
But
wants.
if Joel already thinks Ellie's dead, away she goes.
Yeah, well.
So in this conversation,
Yes.
Marlene and Doc are talking. He's like, I need you to buy in. We got to do this now.
Yeah.
You very much read it as them kind of confirming the.
I very much felt like it was going to work
Yeah.
if they
Like a
had,
guarantee, like, yes, this will work, but we got to
right,
do it.
We got to do it, and it'll
Yeah.
work. We can save the world.
That's what I got to.
I totally, from that whole conversation, from the way he says, because he doesn't answer the question, if it was your daughter, would you do it? And the way he says, like, you got to buy in is a weird way to. No, I just need you to buy into this. I
he's
very
trying
much
to,
thought
like,
he was trying to
really-
convince
Yeah.
himself. Like, was very
Sure.
unsure, but like, listen, it's one life. It's this girl that none of us know.
Right.
We have the best chance to save humanity. It kind of doesn't matter who it is. We got to do this.
And there's also a bunch of secondary information which implies that this is the one guy that can do this.
Yeah, that's
in a way
another
that-
kind of part of this story.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
oh,
a little bit like, oh, you know everybody in the world, and their skill set.
Yeah.
Right.
But it also made me think, like, if the writers are willing to put that out there, I think they're very much trying to say, like, this could have happened if it happened now.
Yeah, I wonder, because even that is like, are they just building up the, like, it to me it reads like characters trying to convince themselves where like he was the only one who could do this in the world. They're like, no, maybe he's the only surgeon the Fireflies have, but like,
Well,
the
and I
world
think-
has gone on.
Right, and I think that is actually what they imply, is that he was the perfect combination of can do and will do.
Yeah.
In a way that they think it would be very tough to find
But I totally
else?
came out of the scene like not. I was less convinced at the beginning. At the beginning, coming into the game, I was like, yeah, it probably would have worked, but like 70% chance maybe.
Yeah.
And then coming out of this, I was like, ooh, that's kind of sound like a coin toss to me.
And I was the exact opposite, where coming out of that last game, I was like, look at this fucking shitty lab. This was never going to work anyway.
It's like this was built on a PS3.
Yeah, and then even when they were like retconning the way that lab looked and like sprucing it up in a lot of ways, I'm like, well, they at very least want me to believe that it is a more feasible outcome, whether I do or not.
I wonder if like it feels like them sprucing up that lab to it feels like you feel like you saw the magician doing part of the trick, and they're like, because they changed that thing at the beginning, I'm not fooled.
Right.
I'm not fooled in any way.
You thought that you tried to like outthink the outthinking.
Yeah. And then I mean I'm no better on the other side where I'm like, it was probably just graphics. It's just technology. It looked like that in my head, I guess. I don't know.
There's a whole argument on the internet that the guy in the original was black, and I was like, the mere fact that we can't tell is
I gotta go rewatch that. Is he like all covered up? Is that why
he's very covered up?
He's got a mask and you can't see. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
He's got scrubs and everything.
Really? But I
saw like a Twitter thread
that's really fucked up.
Yeah, where it's like, I think this guy looks black to me in this first game.
Wasn't even. In Last of Us Part 3, we find out this wasn't even the doctor. He's just lying to Joel and Ellie.
So now you get to kind of see the events of the last game unfold from Abby's point of view, where she walks down this hall, which is a hall that she has nightmares about through the entirety of this game, pretty much.
Yeah, remember the first time we played her, she couldn't sleep.
Right. And she walks through this the door with the Firefly logo on it, which is right where Ellie found her proof recorder. And she sees Owen there, who's tending to her father, who has been killed.
Yep.
And we know we did that.
Yep.
That was us.
And it like, there's this, for me anyways, there's this like, oh shit, maybe the real Last of Us is the fucking people we murdered along the, maybe we're the villains here.
Yeah. And they hung everything, they hung their whole game on how you felt here.
Yeah, totally.
Because this was when they're like, if we don't have them now,
boy, the next 10
nothing
hours
really happens
are
with
going to be rough.
Yeah. And luckily they had me now where I was like, well, that might be the one thing that would at least make me think, well, you had a good reason to turn my friend's head into mush.
Totally. We fucking started this fight. Abby just finished it. I kind of came around in a big way. Where it was like the one thing, because I was so sure. I'm like, they're not going to turn me into Abby. That's why everybody hates this game, because nobody likes Abby and all this shit. And then they show that scene like, you son of a bitch, I'm in. Let's do this.
And for the rest of the game that we're going to be talking about, they spent it feels very much like Abby has a maybe not something so structured as a code, but is very much like, I'll kill you because you wronged me. I won't kill you because you didn't wrong me. And now Abby or Ellie has obviously re-wronged her.
Yes.
But there's a lot of being like, Abby really never went after anyone unprovoked.
No.
Yeah.
No, seems very much at least the initial victim in all of this.
Seems perhaps less shitty than anyone else we know in this world.
And like, as you bring up her code, it was that was like, it totally clicked into place where I'm like, she probably has way more sound morals and ethics than Joel and Ellie did.
Yep.
In that first game or anything we've seen them do.
Still though, an eye for an eye. After all,
that's right. That's the theme of this.
We're gonna get to the end here where Abby's the one who fucking breaks the cycle anyways.
Yep.
Like, Abby is the real hero in this story.
Yep.
Does Abby break the cycle? I guess that's up for interpretation.
Yeah, totally.
Ellie breaks the cycle.
Abby breaks it initially because we're gonna get to it. She doesn't fucking kill him in the aquarium or wherever the
I guess.
is.
But then I guess Ellie
Ellie's
also
the one
breaks it by not killing her.
It's Ellie tries to start it up again. Ellie like has a false start where she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm not. This cycle's not broken. Fuck you."
That's right. Yeah, I guess she was the first one who stepped back. But all right, we're gonna get into. Before we get into the gameplay, Abby comes into. We get the other side of the murder of Joel. Also, we couldn't hear the first time through because Ellie was losing her mind and couldn't hear. And we very much get and this also helps turn you. the fact that Abby was the leading voice in the we're not killing those two.
Yeah, we're
otherwise
just here
we're
for
no better
Joel.
than them, and this has to be where this stops, and we got to get out of here. So yeah, feeling a little bit better about Abby, which you have to. And if it doesn't get you, then I can't imagine what it was like playing this game, just being like still feeling the same way about Abby, where it's like, I don't care, you killed Joel.
Yeah. I still maybe killed her a couple times, like forced myself to fall.
Every now and then you find a spot where you're
ledges.
like, I'd like to see the woman who killed Joel fall to this death.
Falling off those ledges, specifically when you're like doing the balance beam part, you're climbing up to the towers and stuff, is really hard. You have to push the stick for almost 10 straight seconds, where I didn't think you could fall at first. I'm
Even
like,
not
that's
hard.
weird. You
it
can't
wasn't a
fall
full
off.
10 seconds, but you had to fucking give it.
I think they
actively
make it look
try.
like you're falling really early, but but then you never get any farther.
Yeah, you're not.
In a way
You're
where
just
you're like, I'm like, oh, this is fine.
That said, there was one part where I did kill her. The only time I killed her on purpose was when that jump part.
Yeah.
Which I guess we can get to.
And even then wasn't so much on purpose, but it was, can I do this?
There's a part where
This is
like
possible.
I would
her
like to know what the death
companion-
animation looks like
Well,
here.
that too.
And,
Her
boy,
companion,
good thing it's
makes this
Abby.
crazy parkour jump, and she's like,
You know I can't do
No.
that, right?
No.
Is
and
that
I said
exactly
to
what
Brando
she
at the time, I
says.
was like, I've never related to anybody more in my entire life. Fucking right, so let's find a way around this. But still, I just jumped and she like cracks her head on
the
like
rocks
a
below.
rock
Yeah.
underneath, and
Looks like she breaks her back.
They go
Not
fast.
bad.
The death scenes are
Yeah,
like brutal,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
they're just like done
They
in a
give
way.
you that moment of like, and then they cut.
they really, well, just while we're talking about death scenes, they really made Abby's death to Clicker a lot more jarring, I thought. Like, she does this one, like, high-pitched scream as it's like the fucking, when they rip your jugular out, that death scene.
Yeah.
She does this one really, like, like, and it just, boom, cuts and goes to black.
It's a lot of good
Like,
screams.
Yeah, it's a jarring death.
So we fade up to Seattle day one. We have our moment of realization that we're going to relive the events, all the events that have happened from Abby.
Fuck.
This game's long. We're in the stadium. The stadium is the Wolf main command position.
It's where the burritos are made.
That's right. That's where home is where you eat your
man,
burritos.
burritos again.
Yeah. Fuck you. Burritos are dope.
Yeah, I gotta eat burritos
today.
every day. So did I.
Great. You meet Manny, and Manny is talking about the weather girl that he's your bunkmate, but you slept on the floor outside the room. So that he could have sex with with a weather specialist.
Not only is Abby maybe the hero of this story, but just the greatest wingman.
Oh,
you can sleeping outside on the
absolutely.
ground. I wouldn't sleep outside on the
No.
floor. You two fucking go
Yeah,
outside.
you're the one with the woman. Why don't you go have an uncomfortable sleep?
I got a storm for you to track.
Bad wingman, me and you.
She's tracking the storm. The big
Right.
storm that we
She's
see
tracking
coming
the
in.
storm. We don't really know what she's up to, but she is here because Isaac, our mysterious leader, needs to consult with her about stuff. And you have a quick chat with Jordan. You're going to get a lot of, we won't go through all of them, but you get a lot of what these guys are. They basically give you the, like, I'm going to be going to the school soon to grab supplies. Like a lot of like, hey, if you played the first half of this game, remember when I was at the school?
Yeah.
I'm telling you I'm going to the school now.
All the villains, or all the people that you killed in the first one are
Yeah.
like, hey, we're all going to our places where we're going to die.
Yeah.
See ya.
Also, while you're walking around, just before you get the burritos
Yes.
in that area, there's a person playing a PSP again.
Oh, yeah.
They are playing the Jack and Daxter collection.
And I believe that's the same
The
person
lava tube level of Jack and Daxter.
Yeah, is that the same person
That's
that
the same
Ellie
person
will later go on to
that
kill?
you kill who has the PSP. In
Is it?
yeah,
Because
in the
they're
water.
playing Hotline Miami that other time.
Well, it'd be, I mean, you're not going to play
Both-
Jack and
both
Daxter
bangers.
collection
That's
for
true.
3
Yeah.
straight days or whatever.
She is the only working PSP.
PSV, gentlemen. PS Vita. These are Vitas.
You're right. Sorry, yes.
Yeah.
PS Vita.
Sold way better in the Apocalypse than it did apparently in our.
Yes.
Never seen anyone
might
in the
blow up,
wild
though.
ever once play a PS Vita other than that time Oliver bought one and played it the day he got it. But have seen it in Last of Us 2.
And has to be like a pretty cushy lifestyle that this person is living to have never like crunched your Vita.
Yeah.
As it's in your pocket.
Screen still
Like,
intact. And
When did they come out? Like, was that around 2013?
probably right around.
So maybe they were like the new hot item at the
Yeah, it
time.
would have been probably the last handheld system to ever
I
come
still
out.
think it would get smashed in some sort of.
Yeah, or like the pixels burned out in our world. It's amazing
Yeah.
that they lasted way longer in this gross, wet Seattle that everybody lives in now.
Manny says you and him are going to the forward operating base.
FOB.
The FOB. and he says, Mel's coming with us.
Oh man,
And you're not pleased about that. As
such
Abby.
a bitch.
Yeah, you apparently don't get along very well.
And also, Owen and Abby used to be a thing. Owen and Abby are kind of an on and off again thing. You sort of get the hints.
We're not entirely sure what's going on. We know that he got her pregnant, though, from the very beginning of the game.
Owen got Mel pregnant. But
Yes.
there's some definite romantic tension.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the game,
Abby
says...
with the dad, that's one thing we glossed over, is that there's a conversation with her dad before they find the zebra, where he asks, like, hey, I see the way you look at each other all the time, and you won't look at each other when I'm around, and like there's something
Teenage
going on
love.
there.
And in the very beginning
she does
of that,
like, oh, Dad.
Shucks.
that first scene at the very beginning of the game, I think Owen says something about Mel. Whatever he's like, so says something jokingly about their past relationship, and she says, "No, I've had my fill."
Yes,
I remember because I remember that line. So you're
right.
like, okay, they used to be a couple,
It
yeah,
used to be a
something.
thing, yeah.
boning.
There's also a joke about him working her foot up his ass,
Oh my!
and he hits him with a stop flirting.
Kinky shit.
In which then it clicked. I was like, oh, like a sex thing?
The entire
Maybe I'm
What?
into that.
Okay.
I never really thought.
That's why I now I get the foot fetish. I've
Yep.
never understood why feet are such a.
Until
I get
they
it
talk
now.
about inserting it into
Puts and
asses
butts.
completely, I didn't
So
understand it.
simple.
Now I get it.
Last of Us has taught me so much.
We're learning as a group here.
We learn more about this love triangle and the uneasiness between Abby and Mel, and we learn from Mel that Owen has not been around very much. He's taking a lot of patrols, not with Mel.
Yeah.
We would think that it's Trouble in Paradise, but Owen is just a man-child who wants
Loves to live at the aquarium.
Just wants to live
Just
at the
having a good time in the fucking aquarium.
Oh, and in a lot of ways is my favorite character in this game. We get a big set piece early on where the Scars ambush our ride.
Sorry, can I
yes.
I wasn't sure that you were going to jump that far. This is one of those moments I talked about in the first episode of our Spoilercast where the football stadium
Yes.
is a stadium that I've been to twice, and it was like right down to the one specific end zone being what they call the Hawk's Nest because it's where the Seahawks play, except I forget what they're called in this world. They
Yeah,
had a
me
different
too.
they had posters and it made me
They
laugh.
looked like the Cowboys. I remember
Yeah.
that. They had the color scheme of the Cowboys, but they played in Seattle.
The Dragons or something like that, I want to say, or anyways, the Serpents maybe.
Yeah, the Serpents. That makes more sense.
Seattle Serpents. Yeah.
But yeah, like the design of the stadium was like totally accurate, and like I even like Brando was watching me play it. I'm like, I sat right there, and I sat right there, and one time I sat like it was just another one of those things. I'm like, this is so fucking cool that
Yeah.
like I can recognize this area.
Literally that stadium.
And I even made mention. I'm like, I don't know why. It was like even when we're driving around because in real life the baseball stadium is right beside it, and I couldn't see it. But you're also like kind of driving around, can't really turn. But I was looking for it and stuff, and just seeing like, yeah, that overpass is like we drove on that overpass. I know
Yeah.
exactly what that is. Like it's
good
really
Seattle.
cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
a lot of cool stuff in like even for people who have not been there. The stadium was just really cool in terms of the like. They had everything that Jackson had, but bigger and better. Like they specifically took you by like a crop growing area and a daycare, both of which they like pointed out to you very early in Jackson, and they're obviously doing that on purpose, being like, our daycare is like a fucking 3-room school.
Well, and just the way they even revealed that, like the field area of the stadium of like, so Abby and what's his name, roommate,
Mandy.
Manny.
Manny.
Like their room is in like a skybox essentially,
Yeah.
like a press box looking thing, and it's just a big pane of glass that you just walk up to, and then there's all of this shit down there where it's literally end zone to end zone on where the field would be of like crops and like animals and like pigs in one area and sheep in another, and like just like you even pointed out when I was playing it, Brando, was like how much more they had their shit figured out than even Jackson, who also had their shit pretty figured out, right?
Right. It feels like they had been doing this for a super long time, which I don't know how long they could have been doing it because it felt like they overthrew the Fedra guys somewhat recently. Although I guess I might be just confusing the time of events, which made me wonder. I was like, I wonder if they had the stadium way before they had Seattle.
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
Like
Their
maybe they
first
were
kinda
operating out of
base
the
or something.
stadium and then finally got the whole city.
That would make sense because that's like in moments of disaster, like in real life, we've seen.
Yep,
That's where you would go, right?
Yeah.
The Astrodome.
Also worth touching on, you meet Alice here.
Just good dog.
Good dog.
which is fucked because you've met that dog. The first time you meet that dog, decidedly not a good dog.
No, and I knew that from the second that dog came with me, I'm like, this is the fucking dog.
This is
I
the
killed.
dog.
Yeah,
There's another dog in that there's
it's like
two
Bruno or something. Yeah,
when he factors in Ellie's play in as well, which I didn't pick up on. I read something about this where like he is an optional dog that you can kill, and it will determine whether or not he shows up at that other place on day 2 or 3 with Abby, I think.
huh?
I don't totally remember.
Yeah,
It's-
there's
I could
some
find
kind
it,
of an
but
interaction there to change the dog.
that dog will show up in one of those crates at one of those other bases if you don't
Bear.
kill it as Bear.
Bear.
That's it.
Bear.
Yes, that's it.
I call him Boris.
I'm not sure.
Also, there's a
Bentley.
little thing where you can like pick the ball up and throw
Yes,
it.
fetch is a common mini game.
I threw it over the fence on the first
Goddamned if
try.
I didn't throw it over that
Yep.
fucking fence.
And then the
though.
dog just runs to the fence and like whines, and
Then
she's like,
Abby's
"Oh,
sorry.
sorry, boy.
I gotta go.
I gotta go
Later.
do this thing."
Someone will get that for you. I wonder if you can go pick that up and throw it back.
The area I fucking pitched it to like
No chance.
no
It was
in
one
the
will
cross.
ever
Somewhere
be
in
able
the
to
C
get that.
section.
Yeah,
in the nest, in the hawk nest.
I ran to fucking Isaac's office.
So yeah, you pick up your guns. They're very well armed in a way that you just go up to the thing and they're like, here's this big barrel of ammo, and
You can ask them for specific. Hey, can I get my specific gun I like? He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, hey, no problem. Here you go.
yeah, and you go to like the training range. Like it's just they're hitting you over the head with how
Yeah.
way better off these guys are.
The
than,
range
than
specifically,
Jackson.
where there's just ammo everywhere.
Yeah.
Where you're like, Jesus, like you guys fucking stockpiled on this shit.
And like they're militarized in a way that Jackson's
Yeah.
not. They have a chain of command and like similar, but they are very obviously this military force where Jackson is like people living together and going to dances and being bigots and whatnot.
Yeah, biggest sandwiches.
I also found that before you even left this area in the truck scene, whatever, that they did a very good job of immediately establishing Manny as a guy that I liked.
Oh, he's a good man.
Manny
I was
is
like,
awesome.
I'm in with you right now.
He's
Like,
one of the
you're-
best.
Yeah.
I forgave him for kicking Ellie in the face or whatever the fuck he does in that opening scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Spits on Joel.
She had it coming.
No. Manny's good shit.
That's what it is. He spits on Joel
Yeah.
and says something like, "You deserve the pendejo."
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he did. You're right.
Yeah,
man.
maybe you're right. Maybe I'm the idiot. So yeah, we're heading to the fob, but we do not get very far from the base before we are ambushed by Scars on horseback, and they're just launching arrows at
Yeah.
us, and you deal with Scars near exclusively in this place in this half of the game.
You shoot a lot of people.
Yeah.
Is this the where you shoot the arrow out of the sky?
Yeah, which is something that we're not entirely sure. We have not done our old fact checking on this,
Yeah.
unless you eventually did.
No.
But it seems like there's a chance that there is something that the game has timed out for you, that one of the shots you make when the horses settle behind you, I think it's very early in the chase, will knock an arrow flying past your head. Like it'll imply that you shot it out of the
Yeah,
air.
you shoot and then there is just this arrow shaft that goes
Yeah.
flies past.
In a way that it happened to enough players that everyone's like, maybe they just line this up for you. So you just
Yeah.
pull the trigger, and as soon as you pull the trigger, they shoot the arrow, and it goes flying by your head.
Yeah, because I don't remember noticing it, but it very well could have happened.
It's very
I played
obvious
through.
when people say when you send me the video.
Yeah.
It's odd, like it goes and flies past in a way that I'm like, I don't think I'm sure I would have remembered that arrow
Yeah.
whizzing past.
Me too.
I
Especially
actually
because of the
even-
arrow moment with Ellie too.
I'm the opposite. Where even watching it numerous times, I was like, I might not have seen that. Like
Yeah.
it was not obvious enough for me to be confident in myself that I would have caught it.
I think I might have, but I don't remember seeing it. So maybe I totally did and then missed it.
Or maybe there is
Maybe
an
you
element
literally
of luck.
shoot a fucking arrow out of
Yeah.
the sky, which would be insane.
Also, call me a horrible person, but in this chase scene, never once aimed at a person. I was just shooting horses.
Yeah, so that's what I texted Brando about
Yeah.
that exact
I was
scene.
just like headshot on a horse.
Like they're
headshot
way
on
bigger
a horse.
targets. They're
Yeah.
way bigger targets,
Yeah.
and if one falls, I can take out the ones behind it.
There it is.
It's so efficient to
Saving
just shoot
ammo.
these fucking horses.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
And I mean, the lesser evil maybe than killing a human, even though these scars seem kind of. Well, I mean, we meet some okay scars
Yeah,
later.
that's right. We meet some good and shitty people all throughout these factions. You end up in a warehouse. You bail out of your vehicle, and you and Manny and Mel end up in a warehouse with Alice in an effort to escape. Try and get as far away as possible without being outside. And we kind of get a feel for Abby's moveset, which is quite different than Ellie's in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. She is definitely built for hand-to-hand. in a way that Ellie isn't.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
She plays like Ellie from the first game, almost exactly. Like has the knife that you have to build shivs, cannot get them in.
Oh, like when you're playing as Ellie in that third chapter or whatever?
Yes,
in Winter?
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like as a companion.
No, I guess she plays like Joel from the. For some reason, I always think you play as Ellie, but she played because like Joel needed to make shit. Am I misremembering? Didn't Joel need? Is that Ellie
Yes,
in the DLC?
Joel made shivs.
Yeah.
Joel had to make shivs.
And
He
Abby
used the
very
shiv
much
on a
plays like Joel from the
Yeah.
first game.
Abby has.
She even gets the flamethrower and everything.
Yeah. She gets way less stealth options.
Yeah.
She doesn't get the trap mines. She doesn't get the smoke bombs.
Her silencer is like different materials. It's
Is it
different to
more
make her
expensive?
silencer. I think. Yeah.
Maybe. And most importantly, from the hand-to-hand combat point of view, she has a early upgrade called Momentum, which is just like it. When you unlock it, you're like, oh, they want me to play Abby different because it's like once you kill someone with a melee weapon, you can really just go buck wild, killing everyone around you.
Not even a weapon, just a strike. You can just
Is it?
punch. You can
Yeah.
just punch someone and get it.
Which
sometimes.
is funny because I unlocked that relatively early because it is one of the first ones on that branch.
Yeah.
I honestly got to the end of the game and realized I don't think I activated it. I had it where it was like pulsing,
yeah.
but I every single time would do it on the last enemy or there wouldn't be anybody
Sure.
close enough before
Yeah.
it ran out.
Yeah.
So I don't think I ever once connected on like the actual first one of the chain.
I'm right there with you.
So I don't
where
even know what it really does.
I
to
would
be
get.
honest.
I would
You
get
just
the
kind of
pulse
go into
and then
the
never
kill
use it.
animation for the next person right away
Without having to-
Yeah, it's just boom, boom.
So you're like
boom.
saving your weapon.
Yeah.
If you have a melee weapon, it's saving your hits essentially that way, right?
I think it still
I think it
uses
still
a hit.
uses
it just,
them, but
it just
it
makes the
doesn't-
next hit a kill instead of being
Right,
like
so
whack
you're
whack
not
whack
having
whack
to do
kill.
three,
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
doing one.
Whack.
Like 3
you're dead.
pips will kill 3 people instead of
Does
I
that
think, but it
also-
doesn't. I don't know if it chains like that though. Does it? I don't think you get it and then you kill with a strike and you're glowing and then you use it and kill with another strike. I think it ends. I think then you have to get another strike kill and then that
Oh,
gets
it's
the
only
glow
one.
back on. Yeah, I don't think it.
I might have never even had the chance. to
There
get
was
3.
another upgrade for it that I extended the length, but it could
Yeah.
also only extend it the amount of
So
time
you
that you
have
have
more
to
time.
hit that one.
I think it was. It like makes
Yeah.
that time long. 'Cause it's
But you
not
can
long. It's like
only
2 or
get-
3 seconds.
Yeah.
You can only get one.
I think so.
You think?
Again, I never like Warren. I barely ever used it,
Yeah.
so I'm not too sure.
The other thing I noticed right off the hop with her in this thing was, and I don't necessarily have anything to 100% prove that this is right, but I'm fairly confident that they made her like traversal quicker. That she climbs things faster
She
because
might be.
she's
She's
more
bigger,
athletic.
taller.
Like
Yeah.
it just
She
seemed
definitely
like,
moves.
it seems like when I hit X, she
differently.
was more like boom up the thing,
Yeah.
as opposed to
I
like
can see
Ellie would
that.
kind of like climb a bit more.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a really neat thing too. Like I just felt like I was just doing shit quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Ellie-
even like opening doors or like
Yeah.
does Abby ever pull a generator? I wanted so bad for Abby to pull the generator and just rip this, like it would start on the first pull but the string just rips out. Like
Pretty good. Yeah.
just has the holder in her hands like, oh fuck.
My bad.
Generator just like shoots away like a rocket. That'd be good. Yeah, it was funny because it's like everything that Abby was doing, I was like, oh, this seems super useful. But I still played Abby so much more stealth that I was
Yeah.
like, by the time I got through the game, I was like, I'm definitely an Ellie player in terms of like, I like to go a little bit one way and set up my trap mines to cover my back and then go all the way around the other side and just hear the explosions pop off and everyone's running over there to check on the explosions and I just try and sneak by.
Yeah.
Which is where with Abby, I couldn't get my brain out of the stealth mode. I was better about this on the second playthrough, but I couldn't get my brain out of the stealth mode. And I ended up coming out of a lot of situations being like, I'm using Abby's shit way less than Ellie's because it does not lend itself to my style as well.
Well,
And I should have been changing my play style
Yeah.
because it just seems like that's what they want from you.
They should do a better job. Like they almost need an onboarding thing. Because much like you, I was just like, we've been playing this game for 10 however many hours at this point. You're like, yeah, I know how to play Last of Us. All right, let's go stealth. Here we go.
Yeah.
There needs to be some like. You need a training course almost where you try to stealth and they're like, up, that's not going to work. You're not as small as you think you are or whatever.
Right.
Because like you, I was like, yeah, let's stealth it up.
Which again is different for me because as I explained in the last one, I played the first Last of Us 1 right before I played 2.
just
and
flying with
played
a
it on
2x4.
easy, and I was running through and just beating people up and not doing any stealth at all. Whereas I kind of had to like reteach myself because now I'm playing on hard as well in 2, and because they make it so much more reliant on stealth with Ellie that I kind of had to like reteach myself how to stealth around. The being prone in the grass was fucking
Oh,
incredible.
yeah, you can go
Yeah.
prone in this game.
The amount of times where I would be like, you'd hear that like, get
just
louder.
hit
I'm
the
just
deck.
like, hit the deck, and then just be like, fine. And
You're basically invisible when you're prone in the grass.
Oh.
Like they can be, as long as they don't have a dog, they can be like a foot away from you, and you might
Yeah.
as well have fucking predator camo. Like you are invisible. Also, she can make ammo. Last time I was talking about Abby, she can fucking make explosive shotgun ammo, which
Yep.
is crazy.
And
Crazy. Oh my god. That was once I got that thing, holy fuck, was that ever my go-to.
I think every boss I fought as Abby, it was just like how much flame shotgun ammo do I have, and just
as soon as I unlocked that branch, I don't know. I never even touched it.
Oh, it was, man, that fire shotgun is something else.
and you can't find very much of the hunter pistol ammo,
Yeah.
and that hunter pistol is like just ruthless.
Yeah, I didn't
but you
really
run out of
cannon.
bullets, and the only way to make bullets is like with blades and something else, or maybe just blades.
And like not having shivs is a really big thing too. Abby struggles with the infected. I struggle with the infected all the time
Yeah.
because she doesn't have shivs. So you run into a
Especially
clicker.
clickers,
You're
yeah.
like, I guess I'm dead.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, you don't really have unless you have a melee weapon where you can kind of stun them and get away.
Yeah.
But it's
Crossbow helped once you got that.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That helped with
Crossbow is
clickers a
beautiful.
lot.
Beautiful weapon, the crossbow.
you
Did we skip over the workbench thing? Is that Ellie? Is that the Ellie playthrough? I remember we kept saying we're going to talk
That
about
is the
that.
Ellie playthrough.
Yes, we might have.
Okay, I just want to throw in some tidbits.
Well, I know there's two. There's one with Ellie,
Yeah.
where a guy comes out of there's like a door.
Tell Isaac I'm not going back. Or it's not even Isaac. It's like
No.
people you don't even know.
You're right though. There's also the Isaac people
Yeah.
who say I'm not going back to Isaac, and that is
It's the Abby playthrough.
and that is the one I think I took note of.
Okay.
But there is another one with Ellie that you can get.
There's definitely one with Ellie.
One with Ellie's the one that scared the shit out of me more than anything else in this game.
So what we're talking about is you go to a workbench, which you've kind of been trained are safe. Like
Right.
you only ever find them when you're
Through
out of
a game,
combat.
like
Plus-
all the first game, they never did
Yeah,
anything.
It's on the second story of like an apartment style
Yep.
building where I had been stealthing, being like, there might be people here, and you're using your listen thing, and there's no trace of anybody.
and like the music even lulls you into a false sense of security, and you've been trained that like, all right, I'm upgrading my guns, I'm safe.
You literally I went into it going, well, they wouldn't put anybody here
Yeah, huh.
if there's a bench in this room where there was a door closed that I had to open to
Because
get
like
to.
you, I was uneasy as fuck. 'Cause I'm like, there's food and there's
Why?
like all these
Yes.
supplies. This is weird, but
And
there's
Ellie's
a
even
bench.
saying like,
There's a lot of
"Seems like
shit
this
in
is
there."
pretty, there's a lot of things here to get.
And then you start working on that bench, and you can hear behind you. If you have surround sound, you just hear footsteps. You hear stop, and then someone is grabbing you in a way that like I literally when I heard those footsteps behind me, I stood up and I was like, because I had my surround sound, I literally thought someone was in my apartment. I was like, oh fuck! I stood up and turned around, and then died to that fucking combat because I wasn't even looking at the screen
paying
anymore.
attention.
And I just like panicked, was just hitting buttons to like try and get out of the fucking. I'm like, get back out! Something's coming because I thought I was
Screaming at the game like, this is illegal! This shouldn't be allowed!
And
You're right though. I
can't.
thought that was Abby, but you're right. That was Ellie because she says, "Ooh, they thought that I was a wolf."
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
That part is fucking insane.
so
The way
good.
that they take that
So
mechanic,
good.
and they only ever do it the one time.
Yeah.
I guess they do it again with Abby, but the way that they...
No, I think they do it twice with Ellie. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I got.
I only
caught with
remember-
it. So the first
I only
time,
remember that.
the
I only
first time I
remember
got
one,
caught with it,
personally.
the first time I got caught with it, I feel like I was in a stealth encounter.
Oh, and you just went to a
I went to
bench.
the bench thinking that there was no one around, and then they had figured it out. Where that one I think is the one that the game very much designs for you
Yeah.
to.
That one's
was-
happening all the time.
was as much as I'm like, oh, that's mean. Fucking
I
brilliant.
loved Oh my
yeah.
god.
Because I came out and I'm like, you sons of fucking bitches,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
The
Like,
way they turn mechanics on their heads, even like there's a part we were just talking about Manny and he's talking about the weather chick, and he's got like a letter for her, like a sweet love letter to his mistress or whatever. And Abby's reading it, and you've been trained like the game is paused while I'm reading these things, right? Because you
Yes.
can press the thing, bring them in, and as you're reading it, he pulls it out of your fucking hands mid cuts. He's like, I thought that's not for you,
Yeah.
and rips it out of your hands. You're
That's
like,
pretty
oh,
dope.
That's good.
you motherfuckers.
Yeah. As you're kind of making your way, avoiding the scars through these buildings, you learn through dialogue that there used to be a truce between the scars and the wolves.
Recently too.
Recently, it has just been broken not too long ago, and there's a lot of back and forth on. Mel is obviously very much like, well, so what happened was some scar kids came by and I think killed some people. Killed a person, maybe.
Is that right? I think the kids were killed. I thought was the issue. The Scar kids were killed by the wolves, as far as I remember.
Right.
And
but
then
why?
And then the Scars retaliated. I don't remember the why, but it was a real like, well, they were stealing supplies from us or something. Like it was a real. I'll see if I can find the reason.
Yeah, I thought it was the kids did the first killing because then I thought Mel was saying they were kids. We shouldn't have started a war over it. We should have dealt with it, but I can't. Some of this stuff is fuzzy all this time later. We learn here that Mel didn't want to be a part of how dirty they did Joel. She
Yes.
said Joel deserved what he got, but she just didn't want to be there for it. And Abby gets really mad at her, being like, "Oh yeah, I'd take a real shitty person to do that, I bet, huh?" And Mel's like, "Well, that's not what I meant." And Abby's like, "Let's just keep going. Fuck you, Mel."
That's kind of what Mel. That's kind of what we're all thinking.
Totally.
Abby.
Yeah. Fight your way along some train tracks, and the whole journey is kind of becoming more obvious how different the philosophies on this war Mel and Abby have. You eventually get pinned down by scars and have to hold them off until some wolves show up and pull you out. Big like wave-based combat sequence.
Yep. Isn't that
In a way that I'm like, this is like right before they pulled up, I was like, this is the fucking hardest this game's ever been. Why is there so many people? And then like right when I was like, I don't know why, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe this is a run sequence or something. Then I heard Manny yell like, "Oh, we got wolves coming in on the left." I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. Is this another infinite ammo one? This is where they give you the infinite
I
ammo
don't think
pistol?
so. I think the infinite ammo is in the cars, but not in that wave-based thing. I'm pretty sure I was using bullets.
Yeah, like maybe in the back of the truck with the horse chase.
Those
That
parts
was infinite
definitely
bullets,
are.
yeah.
I cannot find the reason the truce broke. If anybody in chat knows the reason why the Seraphite truce
I don't remember
broke with
either.
the wolf, please hit me up.
Mel gets shot in this little exchange. She takes one in the back.
Fuck.
Yeah.
She's pregnant, dude.
She's pregnant.
What the fuck?
This is bad.
What are we doing?
She goes to get attention, medical attention.
She also didn't know either.
No, she had the adrenaline pumping.
Like treating somebody else. I don't remember who she was.
Yeah, one of the guys who comes and saves him gets hit in the hand.
Yeah, she's like, I didn't even feel it.
Yeah. She's like, oh, I didn't even know.
He also has a kind of a maybe a potential ominous line about losing those fingers, and Manny says, all you need is 3, which is not only a masturbation joke in the way Manny was delivering it, but also
Shocker.
a Ellie foreshadowing thing, perhaps.
Ooh, I mean, two fingers and a thumb. Just, you know.
Okay.
As we said, all you need is 3 because the guy lost 2.
He's saying that the thumb isn't a finger.
Just
Oh,
carry on.
good
Stop
Lord.
it, Warren.
That is just awful. Just the worst.
Now let's just start the show over.
You get
Stop
the
it.
hell out
Stop
of here. Get the hell out of here. Sir.
I'll just excuse myself. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry that I ruined the show.
Stop it.
You get to the fob, and people are restless. Isaac has been bringing in a lot of people that they are unfamiliar with. He's stacking up in a way that they do not have the room or the supplies to house everyone. And if you go talk to or go listen in on a guy who's like giving a like whiteboard presentation on where everyone's going to be, it's actually really good because he's saying like, look, I know everyone hates this. I know this sucks. I know you're sleeping with people that you've never slept with before and everything. And then he does like but what do we say? And I can't remember what they say, but it's like this low enthusiasm chant like, make the best with what we've got. And he's like, love the enthusiasm in a really funny way. So you realize they're overcrowded and people are pissed. And,
Isaac's stalking it for some reason. Isaac's bringing
one knows why.
all the wolves.
Yeah. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this is where you meet the video game girl. So maybe there was 2 people playing handheld video games. Because you definitely see video game girl here with her Vita. Because she says she's heading off to the hospital.
And that's where Ellie
That's
comes out
where
of the
Ellie
water.
is officer.
Yeah.
So
I don't
maybe
think she was playing it here, though. She's playing it in the stadium, and she's playing it when you kill her as Ellie.
I'm wondering
you
if
just
the
see her
person
here,
at the
maybe?
stadium is a different girl. Because she never would have beat us here, I don't think.
Oh, I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
or a
Yes,
different
yes,
person.
Yes.
This girl is definitely playing it because that's how I knew it was the same girl.
It's the only way we can identify people anymore.
That's right.
What handheld is it? Is that the 3DS person or the Vita person?
Yes.
Oh, the Vita person. Okay.
That's right. And you came up behind her in the same way. And I'm like, oh, I recognize the back of your head
So
in video
stupid.
game before
Ellie
I cut
didn't
your
kill
neck.
her. Also, she killed herself.
Well,
She fucking killed herself. Ellie was gonna let her go, and then she tried to.
Says
she
like, dumb bitch or something.
fucking fumbled her knife. She just said that was stupid.
Yeah.
And then Ellie had to stick her in the throat.
I would have said dumb bitch.
Stupid bitch.
Nora, we run into Nora. She's stitching up Mel. She has to go to the hospital, bring all the supplies.
We shaking your head out here, Warren?
You can't say stupid bitch. I was trying to do a thing
Oh,
for the camera.
it's an old meme.
Nora's going to go to the hospital. One of the big things that's going on for this whole operation, whatever they're doing, is pulling all the supplies from the hotel, from the school, from the hospital. They're pulling it all back to the forward operating base and probably to the stadium. Nora shows you to the morgues. Tons of dead people.
Nora's like covering for you at this point, isn't she? Doesn't Isaac? Is this where?
We're not quite there.
Isaac
We're
wants
not
you
quite there
found?
yet.
Yeah, okay.
But
she's also like, you're not supposed to be seeing these bodies.
You would assume probably not.
She's saying
Yeah.
like, you can't. You gotta keep this on the downsy.
Yeah. The specific thing that she wants you to keep on the downsy is she shows you the body of Danny, who's Owen's patrol partner.
Right. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Did we kill Danny? I was always so confused about this. Ellie did not kill Danny.
No, Owen killed Danny, which they get into. They basically tell you exactly what happened, but you don't believe it right away, which is Owen was on patrol with Danny, and rumor around town is he shot Danny over some scars.
Oh,
To save some
yeah.
scars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So, and Owen is unaccounted for. He's
Yes.
been AWOL since the incident happened.
I was so
This
confused
Danny
on this
guy
Danny
had
thing the whole time.
this Danny guy had marched back to the forward operating base after the incident, somehow bleeding, and told Isaac what happened before he died.
And that, so we only have this through Isaac, is that right? Isaac has relayed what Danny has. This is all through the filter of.
Yes.
Is that kind of what we're led
At
to
this
believe?
point, all we know is that Nora is telling you what she knows, presumably only through Isaac.
From Isaac,
Unless
okay.
she tended to
Yeah.
this guy.
Known wheeler and dealer Isaac.
Yes. But this all turns out to be true.
Yes.
But
So are the. Is that Lev and his sister?
No. They're
Okay.
It's an old guy.
to me, at that point, it made me think that perhaps the guy in the aquarium was also injured
Owen.
and or dead.
Owen?
That's what I took away from this. Yes, Owen. That this guy crawled
Just
back
though- just though he's missing.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
his patrol partner crawled back and died,
and was
and
shot,
Owen is MIA.
and Owen's
I
nowhere.
see.
So
Okay.
I
Yes.
thought, oh, maybe Owen's dead
Yeah.
or been injured or whatever.
Yeah, I could not. I was so confused. I could not get. I'm like, did Ellie kill Danny? So maybe that means. Oh, I
I knew that like Owen seemed super not into, and I'm wrong here, but I'm like, Owen doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would kill one of the good guys
Yeah.
from his point of view. So I was like, something must be up. Turns out he did it. They go see Isaac. You walk by some torture rooms.
Yes.
They are torturing scars, and you find Isaac in a torture room in a very gruesome. I shouldn't say gruesome in the scope of the rest of this game, but it is a very ominously shot scene where you open the door and he's just sitting there with this like bone thin guy holding a knife, and he like walks up to go have a conversation with you and gives the knife to the guard, and he's just like, "Don't let him fall asleep."
Sir, Abby and Manny are here.
Don't let him fall asleep.
Yes, sir.
Let's go up. I heard you two ran into some trouble.
No losses on our side, just some minor injuries. Can't say the same for them.
Wish I was hearing more of that.
Never seen the base this packed.
And give it another day. Still waiting on some units.
What's going on, boss?
These small skirmishes. Can't keep going like this.
Then, what?
We could try another truce. But how long before some asshole on their side or our side unravels the whole thing? No. It has to be all of them.
Jeffrey Wright's performance,
Jeffrey Wright
like
is a
absolutely
banger.
incredible.
Yes.
It's a pity that we get so little of him in this game.
Yeah, and we get so little of like a lot of really good performances.
Yeah.
I think just because there's the two people the game's about, and they're just always moving.
Yeah,
But
it kind
I
of makes
agree.
it feel real, almost in a
Yes.
way where you're like, "Fuck, I didn't even get to know that guy before he died."
Yes. He said he's planning. The reason he's pulling all this stuff is because he is planning an all-out assault on the Scars Island the night of the storm,
Yes,
which we know is day 3.
That's
because
right.
We've played it, and it got wet. He says Owen has gone AWOL, confirms Owen has gone AWOL. You say Owen wouldn't do that, and he says, "Are you telling me Danny would have died to me or lied to me with his dying breath?" So,
yes, I am, Isaac.
Isaac is either lying to us, or Owen is a hell of an actor, or Danny's a hell of an actor. He's like, you kind of learn that Abby's is kind of top guy, his top gal for killing Scars. And says,
like
I need
sheriff
you,
almost.
Yeah, I need you to like look through your roster, get your best people. You're gonna be leading this thing.
I need you to put the Avengers together.
That's right.
And go avenge fucking Danny.
And Abby, all nonchalantly, because she's not supposed to let on that Nora told her, is like, "Oh, Owen, I need Owen is who I need," and that's how you get the whole. Well, Owen is AWOL and maybe a traitor.
Just watch Civil War. This is like when Cap and Tony Stark are turning on each other.
He also knows that Abby had that conversation with.
Yeah, he's
like, oh,
seems like a very intuitive man. Yeah. Where when you say, "Well, I need Owen to be my top guy," he's like, "So who talked?"
You knew.
Yeah. And I'm like, "Well, sorry, Nora. Apparently, we weren't as sneaky as we thought." So Isaac leaves, and Abby says to Manny, "He's like, something's wrong. I need to talk to Owen. I know exactly where the fuck he's going to be.
Yeah, we'll sort this out.
He's a man-child.
Figure this
who
out.
lives in an aquarium." And we get a flashback to 3 years ago. To one of my favorite parts of the game, and maybe my favorite shot of the game, because it made me physically almost chack. The Ferris wheel date. Abby and Owen are up in the Ferris wheel. They are boyfriend and girlfriend here.
Yeah.
Abby says, "At one point, I will break up with you if you do this thing."
Mm-hmm.
So we know it's
I will break up with you. Get Mel Fragrance.
That's right. And his thing is because he's trying to teach Abby to conquer her fears
of heights.
So
fucked.
Yes,
Already
it's a bad way to handle this, I feel like. But he gets up on the edge of the Ferris wheel car and he's like, "Just come sit up here with me."
I'm not going to do that.
And then we'll go back to, because they're missing training right now, and Abby's very stressed out about that. Plus being very high up in the air. And Owen's like, "Well, no, you come up here and then we'll go down, we'll leave." And she's like, "No, I won't do it." So Owen jumps off the Ferris wheel. And you have a moment where you get to the top of the Ferris wheel, and it's kind of the first time you see how high you are, because now you're in your regular third-person view with Abby, and you look down and you get the fisheye lens, and you're like, "I'm so high," and there's this great like ripple effect in the water where Owen has gone in, and I was like, this game looks unbelievable. Also, I'm physically dizzy right now.
Yeah, this is too high. I will die if I jump.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know what happens if you hold off. I assume you have to jump. At some point?
I didn't even get the fisheye. I fucking just went up there and jumped right
over.
in, so.
Yeah.
I just jumped too.
Yeah. I was really enjoying how it looked. So I was like, "Oh, like especially the ripples."
But like, you wouldn't go. I wouldn't. But I mean, most people wouldn't go on the side of a Ferris wheel that is operational. Never mind one that's been rusting for God knows how long.
Yeah.
That could fucking break and fall apart at any point. Stupid.
Is this
stupid?
Was the Ferris wheel ever moving during this whole scene?
No.
I wonder how they are getting up and down that thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you can climb.
Climbing, probably. I bet it's actually probably pretty easy to climb a Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
I bet I could do that.
Cars have to do it if it gets like stuck.
Yeah, and there's like lots of handholds and trusses and things. It's like, you ever see like the roller coasters have so many like people like, "Yeah, I can fucking, if this ever gets stuck, I can climb down, whatever."
It's crazy to think that Abby could climb up there
without
any and with nothing on the line,
and to
up's the easy way. You're just looking up.
Shimmy your way out.
Wouldn't make it out on the line. Nothing on the line. The tender act of love on the line.
Little did she know that she had to chase him down there.
There's only one way down.
So you jump.
Tally ho.
Yeah, it's great. Owen comes out of the water and is super bummed out that he missed you jumping because he didn't actually think you would do it. And then says, "Okay."
That could have been dangerous. He doesn't know you're coming down. He just comes up and you land
That's what
on him.
I thought. I was like, this is because I jumped so fast.
I'm like, you dumb bastard. You should have swam away. You should have assumed I was coming.
What the hell's wrong with you?
And Owen thinks now's the time to take Abby to explore his new aquarium.
Yeah, they're on a date. They're on like a super date.
Yeah.
You know, she just conquered her fear of heights. It's going great. This man is getting laid.
Yeah, Owen is doing very well. He's made the girl afraid of heights jump from very high.
Boom.
He knows he's around his finger now.
That's right.
takes her to explore the aquarium, and you eventually find the aquarium's great. You eventually find a boat.
Crab room, so good.
Yep, the crab room, which a lot of stuff happens in the crab room.
You find that tower of it's just like plants. It's like a self-contained ecosystem or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like plants and fish and everything, and they come up the stairs that go around it.
Yeah,
I thought that was
really cool.
really fucking dope.
Yeah, and even like when they come up like half before they get into the aquarium proper, they come up in the little like the dome thing where you can like come out of the water and you're in the air bubble in the ocean and you can see everything.
That thing freaks me out.
Whole big conversation. Owen's having this whole big conversation about how sea lions are spotted or seals are spotted, and you don't believe him.
I freaked out. I really didn't like that one part where they get to like the floor, whatever, that's supposed to be glass, and he like kind of like dusts it off, and you can see fucking dark figures swimming in it. Did not like that. Did not like that at all. Fucking sharks and shit down there.
This kind of reads a little bit like the museum scene, where there's a lot of stuff to kind of go interact with and poke at.
Incredibly detailed. Everything is like everything is condensating. Everything is wet because there's water in it in a way that like the aquarium was one of the like standout. Like, oh my god, this game is so gorgeous in ways I cannot believe.
And they obviously spent, because you come here 3 times, I think.
Yeah, you spent a lot of time in the aquarium.
It's very well designed. You eventually find a boat. Owen just claims this for his own as well, which is like,
the SS Owen.
That's right. I don't think there's a better way to do it. Like, I'm like, I guess this finders keepers in this wasteland, but it's just crazy that
put like a name and a date on
a
it.
Boat. I'm just gonna have, this is my boat.
Well,
now.
and there's literally like kids' clothes in it, and like other, like a note of something that you find in there too.
This is the houseboat. It's all like suspended up.
Yeah.
This boat is not about to sail. It's like hanging in the air, right?
No. This is in the water.
It's in like the Orca pool,
There is
which has been over flooded. And
is his boat in the water? Is the one he lives in the water? I thought it was suspended up in the air. Oh,
No,
maybe I might.
I think I know what you're talking about. There is, earlier before this, you go through like a place with a suspended boat with a climbing puzzle.
Yeah.
And they literally say while they're doing it, they're like, this reminds me of Owen's boat.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So that's, I think, what you're thinking of.
Are there orcas in the orca pool? What is just the boats? I have so many questions about the aquarium.
Yeah.
It's like the outside sea has broken through the one wall so that you can go directly out through the Orca pool.
I wouldn't live in
like
that
it was
boat.
always a theater, right? Like this is in the theater
like
where you come out and
it's
it's
SeaWorld-esque, right? Like
but the like back wall, which would obviously separate where the fish put on the show for you from the ocean, has broke, so it's kind of like a makeshift dock now.
Yeah. It's a cool design. I love the destroyed Seattle is so
super
amazing.
dope. Yeah.
Owen claims his boat, and we learn, as Warren was kind of alluding to, about a father and 2 sons who had previously set up camp in this boat and in the aquarium before the kids, you eventually go on to learn, ran off with the scars, because the kids were like upset that the dad had stood idly by while the mom got killed. And you learn as you go through this, we'll just talk all about it now, you find notes from the Scar side that have been interacting with these kids, one of which is named Max, and I killed someone named Max, so I'm not sure if it was the same guy.
Max, no!
Trying to convince them, being like, hey, you have too much potential to waste it with your cowardly father and everything. So they recruited some kids right from under this dad's nose.
Sad end to the dad as well.
Yeah, he's got a note from the kids basically explaining that they're going to become Scars, and they say, I hope if we ever see you again, you're not still sitting in that stupid chair. And the note is attached to him sitting in the stupid chair as a skeleton.
Yeah.
So
poor bastard. I mean, a hell of a way to go though.
In an aquarium,
doing what you wanted to do.
Yeah,
sitting in that fucking chair.
that chair that you became famous in the family for.
Yeah, that's right.
Also, the fort was dope too.
Yes, and we're heading down that way.
Okay.
They make their way down to the basement to Max's hideout or Max's room or whatever.
Max's room, yeah.
Which is, I was like, okay, you go in and there's kind of like a nice little room, and I'm like, this isn't bad. Yeah. But then you realize like there's way more of Max's room down a fucking elevator shaft.
Yeah, no, Max's room is the entire bottom 3 floors of the aquarium.
Which apparently. It's like, why is Max should not be climbing up and down this elevator shaft on his own.
Fuck it. If I was a kid, to be like this whole place, I like Owen would claim every piece of this aquarium is mine.
You get down there, and you got kind of the wall-to-wall aquarium kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like everything. You're in the middle of the ocean with just glass walls around you. and they share a romantic time with the seals. That does not mean sex. The sex comes later. Literally just a romantic time with the seals.
Yep.
And
Not the sex with the seals. to be
No,
clear.
no.
It's in the DLC.
Yes.
The world's not ready. You thought they were mad about Buff Abby. Just wait until
They probably pulled the plug on that DLC. They're like, God, if they didn't even like
cut the seal sex expansion out of there. The world's not ready for this bestiality thing.
We've pushed this game as far as we can.
We'll save it for 3, Druckmann. I save for part 3.
While they're having their romantic chat, Abby is just jarred right out of it by the thought that Joel is still alive.
Yeah. Man, just like Ellie and thinking about Abby at the end of these two girls are mirror images from one another.
Yes, they're PTSD'd out the wazoo.
Yes. And are both the cause of each other's PTSD, which is very interesting.
Yes.
Poetic in and of itself.
Ironic. She says she's kind of in a bad mood now, and she's like, I'm going to go back to camp. And Owen's like, I'm staying with the SEALs. So you kind of get your first glimpse of like, Owen seems to just not give a fuck about command.
Yeah.
Like, Owen seems to not give a fuck about when training is or anything, which I'll ask it now, and I alluded to it at the end of the last episode. I don't understand how Owen is just not, like, everyone lives at the stadium unless they're, like, excused leave for patrol or the forward operating base, and Owen is just, like, not close. Like, these are entire chunks of the game that we spend trying to get from one area to the aquarium.
Yeah.
And Owen is just like, just holler when you need me. I'll be at the aquarium.
He wasn't always living here, was he? Just since he went AWOL, I thought. Just since the bad business.
No, but he's like here at Christmas, and he's here like years ago. Like, he's been working on this place for a long time.
Maybe
And
he's just on his vacation time.
I sort of thought that's what all the long patrols without Mel were. Was him just coming to not go and meander around with Abby, but to just go and work on his dumbass aquarium.
Right. Well, and they can be, but he was obviously like on a patrol with Danny or whatever. Like, it seems like he's
to the aquarium though, because that's where they found the dad and the kids. No,
she just knew that he would be at the aquarium after he went AWOL.
Oh, Danny was not. I'm so fucking confused about Danny.
Yeah.
Danny did not happen at the aquarium.
No, we don't know where Danny happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He could have happened at the aquarium.
Yeah, that's sort of what I thought.
The aquarium was brought in because Abby's like, I know where he'll be.
Yeah.
He'll be at the aquarium.
So remember when it's like Joel and Tommy? Yeah, we've already seen this part where they're like, "How come you guys come over?" He's like, "Oh, best couches. This is great. It's a great spot." Maybe the aquarium is that, but for
it totally is. It just
Owen.
seems like Tommy and Joel. I get they're like, these are two top dogs in Jackson.
Yeah.
Maybe they.
Well,
find
this
a
is the
nice
number
room.
one. This used to be the number one, the left hand's significant other.
Yeah, so it could be. I feel like I bought Isaac letting Owen just hang out at the aquarium whenever he wanted
Maybe,
a lot less.
Maybe Owen is Isaac's son.
Maybe everyone
be.
just kind of fucking hates Owen. Like, yeah, just let him. He's better if he's at the aquarium.
Yeah,
Fuck him.
Fuck it.
Hey, if all the wolves hate Owen, that's just another point for Owen in my book.
Here.
Fucking love me some Owen. Follow my
Maybe,
Owen Stan Twitter
Damon says
account.
maybe Owen was top dog in the WLF. Could be. Maybe it's
It
very
just
high
seems
ranking.
like it seems super like they're well organized, and it seems super like we can't just have a guy who's like our top guy like fucking way out at the aquarium like a day's journey away if we
Yeah.
need him.
Oh, I'm keeping watch for the scars.
That's right. He's on the Coast Guard. Anyway,
at the end of that like her leaving and him, the way that he responded to her being like, "I'm going back to camp or base, or whatever," was where I was like, "That's probably where their relationship either ended or the beginning of the end."
Could be,
just because of the way he totally like rolled his eyes. Was like, "I fuck." It just seemed like he was like, "I give up. I'm not pursuing you anymore. You clearly have your mind so set on the one thing that I don't give a fuck about." So,
and he's always in, but he's always just not in enough for Abby. Like they'll have Abby will later in the game have a moment where it's like they found him and he's like, "You're with me, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course I'm with you." And he does go with her because we know he got there, but it feels like Owen really wants to pull Abby back from this ledge in a way that Abby does not want to be pulled back from this ledge.
Much like the people with Ellie who are like,
"Sure,
well, we're going to go with you because of course we are, but what if we just didn't go? What if we just gave up this crazy quest for murder?"
Abby honestly could have used more of those people. I feel like Ellie. I feel like if Ellie had an Owen, we might have a shot. But everyone on Ellie's side was kind of like, "Yeah, let's go fucking Joel."
Yeah.
Joel.
Fuck him.
For Joel. Whereas I think if there was an Owen who was just like, well, the vicious cycle, the whole world goes blind, eye for an eye. Then maybe Ellie's like, well, no one's really put it that way before.
Huh,
Where have you been all my life, Owen?
Now that you said, do we do a vintage Dragon Ball? Oh yeah, I forgot.
No,
we need to stop the cycle of vengeance.
That's right. Back to the present. We go to kind of a Chinatown section, which I only made note of because of two reasons. I thought there was some really neat puzzles, which involved you going up a narrow street and kind of jumping to opposite sides of the street to find safe codes and stuff. You can also find, for old Naughty Dog fans, the precursor orb here from Jak and Daxter 1.
I missed that.
Me too.
I got it.
You got a trophy
I didn't know what
for
it
it.
was, but I
Yeah.
got it.
There you go. That's how it always goes. The one guy who doesn't know what the fuck
It's
he's
like in a weird, like when you go to jump down through the floor, there's like you come through a doorway and the hole through the floor is right in front of you.
So you're
if you turn
compelled to
immediately
jump
right,
down?
there's a desk that has like in the drawer that's right there.
There you go. You got my least favorite stealth sequence I did the whole game. You get to an open field with like some buildings on your left and right, and there is a like 3-story building with the corner blown off of it, and on all 3 stories there's just a scar looking out over everything.
Not snipers, but basically snipers.
Yeah.
I thought this was the sniper part. Where I'm
Right.
like, oh fuck, these are.
And they just you fucking like get up for a second to move, and all of a sudden the thing's like, and I'm like, this part sucks. So I went fucking loud here.
Do you have a boat when you're walking into the? Do you come to this part on a boat? I felt like I remember
you're thinking of
leaving
the Ellie stuff.
Yeah,
We talked about the Ellie, like the sniper thing up in the train.
yeah, you do. There's a little bit of boat stuff with Abby later, in a scene that is very much like this. It's Abby and
Okay.
Lev.
Yes.
I don't remember the 3.
I think the one I'm thinking of, I think, is Abby and Lev later. I think it's right before the real sniper part is the one I might be thinking of.
Yeah, this is the one where you like come up and it's like the corners blown off a building and
Yeah.
all the floors have.
You see them because you see them. They're sniping at someone. You see them shoot something, an infected, or you see them shooting before in a way that Abby's like, "Oh fuck, we got to get down."
Yeah.
and then they very clearly like camera pans over and you see them all.
Yeah.
I remember this part.
Yes,
but
you're right. That's totally it.
I thought I could have sworn this.
No,
part
because
was
the
a boat,
Abby
maybe.
Lev
I might be crazy.
boat stuff is the end of the game. Like
Yeah.
it's like in the flaming town.
There's a little bit before that, isn't there?
I don't think
No.
so.
Okay, yeah, I must be misremembering.
Who knows? We could all be misremembering. Then you get I got a good stealth sequence where you basically have to zigzag your way down between 2 buildings by like jumping over like between 2 buildings, and they're both have scars in them, and you like kind of kill all the scars and then have to like jump down a floor onto the other side.
Yeah.
and then
Oh
down a
shit!
floor
I
onto the
do
other
remember
side.
this
Yeah.
part. Yes, I died 1,005
Yes, this part,
times. here.
this was pretty hard. This was also the part of the game that I told you that I hid in one spot and just killed like 18 people who kept coming up and like seeing the
Oh, yeah.
body and being
Oh,
like,
Steve!
well,
Oh,
gotta
my
go there.
God!
And I killed another one, and there's just a stack of bodies behind my cover.
Steve and Dan.
Weird. I don't remember any of this part.
They kind of blend together after. That's the problem I'm having is all the stealth combat parts and all the like. Oh, here's the part where you engage clickers and people like they all kind of blend together in a way.
This
that,
is current day Abby trying to get to the
Aquarium.
right?
Yes.
Like she's already broken loose,
Yes.
gone AWOL for lack of a better term,
Right.
after being told
Yeah,
not to
it's
leave.
after like Manny, which I kind of left out, but Manny basically like helps you escape, like hoists you over the fence, I think, and you say goodbye to him, and then this is all the stuff that follows that.
Weird.
oh yeah, because then you and Manny kind of don't see each other for a while.
Yes.
He just sort of shows up later
Yes. In true
for like 5 minutes.
yes, in true Last of Us 2 fashion, you will run into your ally just out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Flashback 4 months ago. Sorry. At the end of this zigzag thing, there is another fight with one of the big ladies.
Yes, big motherfuckers.
Yeah, big lady.
Big Bertha, I called her.
Not big enough for Abby.
Yeah.
Let's before we flash back, let's stop for our first break.
Okay.
And we'll see you on the other side of this break for more Last of Us 2 Spoilercast in just a minute. Bring us back here, Brando. What are we? Seattle Day 1,
Yes,
Part 2.
We got a flashback to 4 months ago. This is Christmas, 4 months ago. Not long. Christmas time at the aquarium. Mel is much more in the picture now.
Yeah.
She is pregnant.
So pregnant.
She is here.
Makes me anxious how pregnant she is.
You go in, and the most important thing for you to do here is to fucking stomp Owen and Mel at archery.
Yeah.
With the little kid bow.
Fucking
I couldn't
missed
find the last one. I could not find the last one.
I know, and I saw it right at the end too. I found it, but I just
find
couldn't.
it. All
But
I could do was
you-
Couldn't
tie.
hit it.
Yeah, all I could do was
Oh,
tie.
there's more than you need.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I missed one. Then I must have got the score because I remember she
Yeah.
gave him. She's like, "You better put my name up there." And he's like, "Yeah, I will."
Yeah.
When you leave, like, no,
Yeah.
right fucking now, put my name on the board, motherfucker.
That bothered me that I couldn't replay it either. I was like, oh, fuck, I want to do that again. Bullshit.
Did anybody get 0? Someone should go through and intentionally get 0 and see what they
See what
say.
happens?
Yeah,
Yeah.
see what the VO is like.
God, you're bad.
Hey.
This is where you get to squeeze the little squeezy toy squid.
Yeah. Oh, that's
During a whole conversation.
Outstanding.
Just whenever you want.
Yep.
Just
Literally talking to somebody and just.
Owen's trying to have a serious conversation. You're just fucking pounding on the squeezy toy.
You can just throw it for the dog, right? Or is that later?
Later.
That's later. Yeah. Okay.
It's becoming increasingly obvious that Owen cares deeply about the aquarium in a way that he is very much losing interest in the wolves.
Yeah. Man, I wish Owen. Abby thinks, man, I wish Owen loved me as much as he loved this aquarium.
Yeah.
But oh well.
He fucking loves the aquarium.
Loves it. Oh my goodness.
It's a 1 year anniversary for Owen and Mel, worth noting for your timeline reasons. And Abby tells Owen
Well, it
that
didn't take long for them to. How pregnant is Mel? So 4 months she hasn't had her kid.
So even if you put her at 8,
because she's
4
showing,
months
she's
ago,
definitely
she'd be
showing
4
in this
months
scene.
ago.
Yeah, okay, so like 6 months. You know, listen, we might not be alive tomorrow. We better move fast.
Abby tells Owen that they found Joel, and that Isaac has given the okay to send a group of them to hunt him down.
A lie.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Isaac doesn't know jack shit about Joel. Because Abby
really?
just talked to Isaac. I was like, yeah, I'll go find. I'm gonna get the team together. We're gonna go do this like super mission for the
No, it's 4 months ago.
murder the scars. Okay.
It's 4 months
I
ago.
still think Abby. I still think Isaac doesn't
Joel
know
died
shit about.
before any of the Seattle
Yeah, you're
stuff,
right.
so,
I
yeah.
still think Isaac might not know about Joel. I think because Abby's their whole thing is like under the radar. Aren't they all talking real hush hush in the beginning in ways that like
I mean, she might be lying. I never got that she was lying from the game, but I might have missed something.
okay. I think it's a lie, but yeah, maybe don't hold me to that.
Okay. Consider yourself not held. Owen's like skeptical, as we said, not sure that this is the right path, but agrees to help because he is Abby's boy. Back to the present. Captured Abby. Oh, sorry. What did you get conked on the head when you're fighting that lady? You get pistol whipped, I think, and dragged away by the scars.
Yeah. So you win the fight and then you lose the fight in the cinematic.
Yeah, I can't remember. I actually can't remember how that happened, but I remember having a note here that says you get conkied at the end, which I assume means pistol whip.
So weird. I don't remember any of this stuff. Like,
Yeah,
I
'cause this
remember
is-
the Big Bertha, but I don't remember.
Because this is you wake up and you're like hung up in the Scars City. This is where you meet Lev and
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm with you.
can't remember if it's pistol whip. A lot of people get pistol whip, so I'm assuming, but it might be like a pickaxe to the face, knowing this game. So
Sounds about right.
back to the present. You've been captured, which I neglected to say. Apologies. And strung up, and you're about to get gutted by one of the Scars.
Literally drew blood.
Literally drew blood.
Knife to your stomach. Abs of steel, be gone.
Yeah.
Thought the knife was gonna break.
Yeah.
I just bends.
Oh shit!
For fuck's sakes.
And then just when you're about to get shivved, you get the person who's going to shiv you, cut you, it gets distracted. People run up and they're like, "Oh, the apostle is we found the sister," and they drag someone who we would come to know as Yara up, and the girl is like clip her wings.
Yeah.
Clip Yara's wings. So they hold her down and they just
You know it's
smash
coming.
her arm with a hammer.
You know it's coming.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was going to be. This part wasn't that bad. Because you're like, oh, we're gonna see bone come out of skin. This
Yeah.
is gonna be fun.
I thought they were gonna cut it
and
off.
they just kind of go along it and really shatter that arm up. And you're like,
Yeah.
okay, well all right.
That's fucked up.
That probably hurt a lot.
That's not
but
gonna heal right.
At least we don't see bone coming. It doesn't look that bad right now.
Sure.
Because I know there's a part later in the game
Where
where,
it looks
you see
much
that
worse.
arm.
Yep. Blah.
she gets one hammered, and then they're about to hammer the other one, and then an arrow comes and just it takes out everyone. You meet Lev, who is an ace with the bow, taking out everyone.
Yeah, he's a good kid. I like Lev.
They one of the scars who means them harm backs up too close to Abby, and Abby chokes them out with her legs. And then they cut Abby down. She's being like literally strangled at this point, and they cut her down.
There's a little bit of like argument, right? Lev is like, just leave her. She's one of them. Just fuck, let's go. And the sister's like, she saved my life.
I think Yara just says cut her down, and Lev does it, but I think he seems very confused.
There's a lot of hesitation.
Yeah, I think
there's a lot of time where she's hanging, where Abby's hanging there, and you're like
taking their time.
I remember
goal.
I remember Yara saying like, she saved my life. Cut her down. I think it's when he's cutting her down, or they're like debating it.
I don't think they ever debate it.
You got to cut her down. It's like, oh, she's one of them. Why should we?
Abby at this point picks up a hammer and basically wields it like Mjolnir.
Because she has no weapons. Obviously.
Yes, they've taken the weapons. I have no idea why she ever leaves this hammer, because it's just like
unbreakable.
Unbreakable.
Might as well fly back into her fucking hand.
It's the equivalent of like the unlimited bullets in the car, but it's the hammer where she's just like
going absolute ham.
Mine broke.
Oh, it broke? Well, you were not worthy.
Is it on the last? Does it break?
I had to fight several of them with my
Did you?
hands.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, you are unworthy.
You then go into this forest run part of the game, which is one of my least favorite parts of the game, where you are basically running with... Yep.
Sorry, just in that part, that's the first time that I really felt like I, A, strongly grasped, and B, really appreciated the dodges in this game.
Yes.
The timed left bumper dodges when zombies, infected whatever, would come swing at you, and you'd like... fucking do like a boxer, duck underneath, and then fucking hammer him across the face.
And you start in like a super way that they did not obviously put like a Souls level of thought into it, but it's like you could start to read like, I know this clicker swing is the one where he swings with his second arm before I can get a hit in.
Yeah,
so you have to like double dodge.
Swing, and then I gotta hit him.
Yeah.
I was never good at that dodge, and every time I had to do it, I just fucking spammed it infinitely so that whoever Ellie or Abby's just like, whoa! Because you can't really get hit while you're doing it. It never felt good to me.
I really liked that sequence though.
Yeah.
That like kind of hordes of them kind of coming at you, and you fought them off in that one area first.
I really
before
did
you
like
ran.
it. I don't know why.
I loved it. I thought it was great. Again, because I love the hand-to-hand combat.
Sure.
And I just really liked, like, I'd like duck and get one, and then I'd turn around and one would be like attacking one of the girls, and I'd just fucking run up behind it and fucking smash it on the head and save them again.
You are a true handheld combat guy.
Loved it.
We get a fight with someone who, to me, the only comparable I could think of was Miss Trenchbull from Matilda.
She's very big. I know exactly who you mean.
Yeah.
Tight bun on the
some
top.
Sort of Latvian shot
what if
putter?
she had a fucking sledgehammer instead of
In Mother Russia.
And it's like...
from Matilda.
Yeah.
You know. Right, fellow
old thing.
teens?
Look her up.
She looks like a lunch lady.
Yeah, she's a
From
big girl.
hell.
Yeah.
The boss of the lunch ladies.
And she's like your learn how to boss fight the biggins kind of introduction.
You're going to have to do a couple of these, so here's where we teach you.
So you deal with her. I think you maybe pickaxe her in the face in
Sounds
a super
about right.
freaky way.
You take her. I think you disarm her at some point. And she's literally
She's
like,
got your backpack.
Yeah, Abby's like, you're wearing my backpack.
Yeah.
Oh,
What the
yeah.
fuck? And then
Which is actually very funny.
yes. And then you disarm her in some way. It like took a lot longer. I don't know. For me anyway, it took a lot longer to take her down than the other biggins.
Oh
maybe
yeah, no,
because
it was like a boss fight.
Yeah,
kind
and
of
there's
thing,
like a couple different like almost scenes, isn't it? Too, where like you get a good punch and now she's bleeding from the face
Right,
or whatever.
Yeah. Yes, it's very similar to the one they do at the end of the game.
Yeah, that
where
big
you
dude where you
give the
fucking
arrow in his face.
the Glasgow fucking smile.
Did it ever take me a long time to figure out that there's a point where she gets to where the biggins get to, they do 3 swings where I'd be like, dodge 1, dodge 2, go for the, and then I got hit again. Fuck's sakes, god damn it.
Yeah. Sometimes it always felt like they knew exactly what I was going to do, and we're just doing the one more that they had to.
Yeah.
Then you get into the auto repair shop, which is a very stressful mission. It is Lev and Yara. You help them out, and they are like, we're gonna get you out of here. But they like run off 5 seconds after you got him out of the auto repair shot, and there's waves of monsters coming in. You use a lot of ammo here.
I hated this part.
Yeah,
I
this
died in
was
this part a lot.
And I was very scared throughout this part. I spent a
Yeah.
lot of time running through like cracked
So, like-
walls, just back and forth.
Yeah, there's like 3 cracked walls in a row that you can kind of
Yeah.
slip through, but they're coming through like the roof as well as
Yeah,
like through
there's a lot
some
of 'em.
windows and like. And there's Bramblers.
The Shamblers come near the end.
Bramblers.
Bramblers.
Towerfall Ascension. Fucking Brambler power up, boys.
Yeah, there's what 2 of these, 2 of those in here too,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
those are the I'd
And-
get to those every time, and then I'd be just fucked because I'd have like 2
And you
bullets left.
Didn't actually have to kill them.
No.
Because like 5 seconds after they come, then you start getting the hauler from Levin Yara being like, "We found a way out," and you escape through a
And
van or something.
I would have done that area the first try,
Had you known that?
except I was like in the opposite end of the place where they were.
found
I'm
a
like
way out.
running, and I just barely almost got there and got that one last hit on me. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Fuck.
You finally you get out of there and you get to these kind of like the mobile units, kind of like trailer looking
Yeah.
things. And they and Abby tries to play doctor, but
A little bit.
yeah,
I'll do what I can.
yeah, she
That arm
basically
is,
tries
like-
to set it.
That
Even
arm
though
is
it's
like
been broken, like,
cherry
7 times.
cherry fucking pink at this point in
Yeah.
a way that it looks like the worst sunburn you've ever seen.
Yeah, and it gets worse.
Where you see that arm and it's like, oh, that's got to come off. We should. I'm
And like
not a
her
doctor,
setting it
but
is like twist, like
Yeah.
one little tiny like move, and then
Yeah.
she's like, "You're good."
and I was just sitting there being like,
No,
"Okay,
you're
what about
not.
what about the other 5 hammer strikes? You're
Yeah.
gonna set those 2?"
Well, I think isn't a set is supposed to be one pull, right? You're supposed to pull on the end of the bone and then everything. When I broke my leg in
Maybe.
2 places and it was they set both bones at once, so I would assume it's kind
mean,
of.
it's
I don't think you
possible
can set
that's-
that fucking shattered thing, which is
No.
basically what Mel tells them is like that thing is
because there's
fucked.
bone fragments and
Yeah.
shit. Like it's fucked.
That thing is so fucked. That arm is so. That was the most uncomfortable any visual imagery in this thing ever made me was that fucking red arm.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was rough.
It's like fucking C-3PO up, and I barely recognize her because of the red arm.
Abby leaves them there, says, "You guys are on your own, but I'd best be out of here."
That was for my friend Warren.
That was good. I like that one. That was good.
Yeah, she just leaves them. She's like, all right,
yeah.
I've done what I can. Fuck off.
Yeah, you guys got to get out of here.
You guys are the
People-
enemy.
People are going to come through. We make our way through a train yard filled with infected, with a bunch of sea cans. And as we near the aquarium, we fall into the ocean, which is unfortunate because
Yeah.
the aquarium was right there. And we have to fight our way back through a passenger ship. This was the one safe Warren missed.
And not by
Couldn't find the code, or like
no,
just
I
didn't see.
was searching for the code, and I went around and used up quite a bit of ammo yet again to take down all the enemies because I knew I had to find the fucking code. And I got to a door, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's through here. And it turned out to be the door that you go through that then gets blocked that you can't go back
Oh,
in
shit.
through. And I was like, well, fuck me then, I guess.
There's a very, like, they don't explain it to you, but a very specific way all those doors work.
They're
that if
like
you
a
can
jar,
figure it out, yeah.
just ever so
If you
slightly.
ever have to hold triangle to get through a door, you're not coming back.
Yeah. They never, but I like you. It's super poorly signaled.
Right,
Sorry,
yeah,
like
they don't
more
really
like you
care.
were saying.
Yeah,
where it's
totally.
like,
No, I never knew that.
I don't want to open this
until you
door in
said
case
that.
I move myself out of the area.
That one pissed me off.
There's
I was like, I just
also-
wasted so much ammo on all these fucking guys, and now I can't even get the fucking save.
Speaking of those, the move to a different area doors, there must be 2 different versions of every scene for that. Where
There's
one
a
way you
I'm
go through
being
stealth,
chased,
and
and
there,
there-
yeah,
yeah,
totally,
yeah.
there is because like
And I can confirm that because I've played it twice. and
Okay,
Had
yeah.
had things where I specifically remember the one time I told you about. There's a
I've done
place
it
where
twice as
the what are they called? Stalkers are chasing you, and I felt like the first time, and Warren did the same way. And I was like, I think you just have to run through this. There's too many stalkers and everything.
Book and get out
And
of
then
there.
the next time I played it, I actually killed them all, and it was a totally different.
that's very
thing.
cool.
Yeah.
That's very very
Yeah.
Like
There's a point-
the attention to detail is
There's a point later on with Abby where I did both because I stealthed through the first time, and it's the point where you have one of the big fuckers.
biceps.
No, the
Oh,
big
the
ones.
bloater.
Yeah, in the hotel. After you go get the mask, I'm jumping way ahead.
Yes.
But anyways,
Yes.
There's a lot of those big fuckers. in the
there's a way
hotel.
that like I snuck around and got behind him where he's kind of at the end of the hallway, and then started. Well, maybe it's as Ellie, isn't it? I don't know. Either way, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm pressing Y to go through this thing, and you're having to like push. And as I start doing it, he like like turns around and looks at me, and I'm like, holy fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, that is with Ellie.
Yeah, and I couldn't get it off on hard. He I
kills
tried
you.
it twice. I could not get it. There wasn't enough time based on where he spawns and stays.
Yeah.
And how long it takes to move that thing. He comes and kills you.
I remember because there's actually two of them down the hallway. I think because everyone's looking. There's like a bunch in the
Are
hallway,
we
and
sure
they're all
those are
looking the wrong
bloaters and not
way.
shamblers?
They're
No, the
Because
one
I
was
feel
a
like
bloater
there's.
for sure.
I feel like
I always
for
forget
me,
which is which.
all the bloaters were boss
bloaters are
fights.
acid, right? Bloaters are the ones that blow up into acid, or those are shamblers.
Those are shamblers. The
They-
bloaters
they
are the
were-
ones that,
they
like,
were the ones that did blow up into acid,
The
I
bloater
think.
will like sprint at you.
Yeah.
In a way that the shambler always kind of.
The one I'm thinking of was just by himself, though. And I'm sure it was a bloater because they did such a, job of, he is right down the middle of this hallway.
I chucked the
and
bottle.
you can either go, yeah, that's
And
what I
he
ended
had
up
to go
doing.
running.
Yeah, you could be right.
Yeah.
I feel like I. Yeah, you could be right. Maybe I just didn't see him.
Yeah, but I cannot. As I'm even describing this, I don't know if I was Abby or Ellie or it all blends together after so many.
I feel like the thing
combat
down the
encounters.
hallway, which is I'm thinking of. I know exactly what you're talking about with the mask thing, which
And
is
that's in the
obviously with
hotel,
Abby.
right? Where you get the
Yeah.
flamethrower.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And you're
that is
Abby for that.
Yeah.
But I just thought for me, I thought it was a shambler.
There were a bunch up in that hallway in a way that I just had to stealth through that whole thing and then throw bricks and bottles and have them all run to one side of the room and try to sneak through a door and
And then they had the stalkers come out of the wall there too. That's where they introduced that for you. So
shit. Look at their
it's my
pants.
favorite part of the game.
Look at their goddamn pants.
We finally get to the aquarium after you get the crossbow and clear everyone out of that ship. Hopefully get the safe. And
Probably doesn't matter if you don't, for the record. You
No.
may miss the trophy,
You get a trophy,
but
but-
we're pretty sure amongst us that the important
It seems
materials
like
move
everything
around.
gets to you, yeah.
you'll find everything. It
It was
seems
just,
like.
for me, more the ammo stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I could have really used all that ammo because I wasted
yeah,
it trying
I
to
might
get
as
the
well have
fucking
just
safe.
snuck through at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
When you get to the aquarium, Owen is in his boat. He's turned pacifist after an incident with a Scar. It was an old Scar who he disarmed. He knocked the gun out of his hand, and the guy could have gone for the gun, but he was this old guy, and he got this look in his face where he was just done. And
I'm just ended. I'm tired of this.
and he didn't go for his gun, and Owen didn't want to kill him instantly. And then him and what was his name?
Is
Danny.
This is the Danny incident.
Yes, this is the Danny
okay.
incident. Got into it, and as Owen describes it, we were both holding the gun, and I didn't even know who was shot
Yeah.
at first. So it seemed like one of those everyone's holding the gun, trying to disarm
Bit
each
of a-
other.
bit of
and
a
one
scuffle,
Yeah,
and-
someone got shot in the gut. So he's out. He knows he's out.
I wonder.
with the
I
wolves.
wonder if. So I sort of wonder when Owen said that. I wonder if Owen just fucking shot him. I wonder if Owen just shot Danny dead in a way of I didn't even know who was holding
Yeah,
the
we
gun.
were scuffling.
Seems very not Owen.
Whoops.
But
Yeah, but I
Could be.
I don't know. To save this Scar's life, this seems like Owen's divergence point. This is where Owen grew a conscience. It seems like.
yeah, Owen just seemed this whole game very much like I don't got the war in me.
Yeah.
I just don't have what it takes to be
Seems
the
tired.
kind of person. Yeah. He's gonna go to Santa Barbara. He's heard hearsay that the Fireflies, his old group,
I heard the Fireflies is getting back together in Santa Barbara.
and he's like, the Fireflies are regrouping Santa Barbara. We got to get down there. Abby's like, fuck that. That's
bullshit.
Yeah,
It's a
It's a
rumor.
bullshit thing.
It's not
Don't-
true.
Don't hang your hat on that. They get super angry, and then they have sex.
Yeah, out of nowhere. The sex scene was maybe the most shocked I was in this whole game. We're like, what is happening? Ah, nipples!
Yeah, you see
Nipple!
titty. Yeah, you see titty.
Angry and horny.
It was very shocking. Man, that sex scene came out of, pardon the pun, fucking nowhere.
Unprotected, might I add.
What can you do? You
Just saying.
pull out.
Just saying.
He might have armed up real quick.
Adults. Yeah, we don't know. He
Not a
always
lot of foreplay there.
name
It was-
Cyrus. Safety's always off.
I think the yelling
Yeah.
and screaming was the foreplay.
Yeah, just
Put
right into
put
it.
her foot in his ass. Remember? Stop. Stop
Work
flirting.
it on there.
Yeah.
We're into day 2. You have sex on the boat and sleep. As you sleep, you have a similar dream to the one about your dad dying.
Mm-hmm.
But this time, when you go through the Firefly door, it's the kids that are strung up.
Lev and
Yara.
and Yara.
So you're having a bit of a crisis of conscience here. And you're like, I got to go back for these kids.
Yeah.
You go back through the train yard.
I think that's a way bigger. So a lot of people, I think, kind of breeze past that. But
Yeah.
the thought that she's thinking about these kids the way she is. She's dreaming about these kids the way that she's dreaming about her dad's death.
Right.
Like
Yep.
she is very much
And
putting them on a
she's-
similar. Almost, I am as bad as Joel and Ellie if I just leave these kids to their own devices.
And it's worth noting that like we cruise by a lot of the like nuance that maybe makes some of these scenes click, because it was very obvious that she got a lot of this understanding that maybe the scars aren't so bad between the scars helping her and then Owen's whole conversation where he was doing a lot of I can't remember if he says it here or later in the game, where he says at some point I think we lost the light, which was the Fireflies, whose expression was follow the light. We're very much always looking for hope.
They love Destiny.
Yes.
Follow the lights.
That's right.
Lightfall comes out
increase your
this
light
next
level.
year.
Are very much a organization that were, as much as they were killing a lot of motherfuckers, very much about hope.
Trying to save the world.
Finding a solution. The Fireflies follow the light.
The Fireflies like that. When all other lights have gone out, the Fireflies are still there. It's
Right.
that last remaining light.
And then they kind of lose that and become part of the Wolves and end up in this group with Isaac where it seems like it's just war for war's sake. And then at one point, Owen says, it might have even been here, Abby says, what happened to us? And he says, at some point, we just lost the light. So it seemed like Owen is very much like, I'm done with this. I'm going to go try and find the Fireflies. I want to believe in something again. Mm-hmm. And at some point, Abby is jarred into the, like, I got to go save these kids. What are we even doing? What is this war all about? So you head back to the train yard. Now it's got scars on it. I got stuck on this part real bad for some reason. There's a bunch of scars. I was trying to do something maybe cooler than I should have, like an action hero, where I tried to get up on the sea
Twitter
cans.
thing, and you're like, fuck, I can do this.
I got up on the sea cans and was like jumping across the sea cans instead of making my way through them like a maze.
I went under the train cars in this one.
And at some point I got like checkpointed in a spot where I'm like, this is bad. There's just people all around me. I don't know what to do.
I did the same thing, and I got spotted on top of the sea can real early, and this was where my only instance of, like, there's the tall grass kind of where you would go when you were going to the aquarium.
Yeah.
And I was just laying there and would kill somebody, and then somebody else would come and be like, oh no, and then kill, and then, oh no, and there's like 6 bodies piled in this one grass.
And they had one of the big uns guarding the door too, so it was like you couldn't even just run.
The game takes itself so seriously and is so detailed and well rendered that when like the bodies are piling up, like it's the Hitman like spinning helicopter blade bug.
There's a mass grave over here.
Yeah, where someone's gonna walk and be like, what the fuck is that? There's like 12 dead people here.
It's
I talked to you all like 5 minutes ago. What the fuck happened?
It's Gina, Dawn, Gregory, Mel, and
just
Pete.
list them all.
So you get through the train yard finally, and you really quickly, and I was worried that this was going to take forever, but you really quickly catch up with the kids.
Yeah, I thought they were gone. She's like, fuck, they better not be gone. There's corpses everywhere. There's dead scars throughout the sea cans. You're like, oh boy.
You get in there, and
kids.
Lev takes a shot at you, not knowing who you are. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you
missed,
kinda,
fucking amateur.
That's right.
You're lucky I wasn't here to do you. You'd be dead.
Lucky it wasn't Ellie. Yeah. You scoop up the kids and head back to the aquarium. And now Mel's arrived. Well, Mel might have been there. I'm really hoping Mel wasn't there when we were having sex, but it felt like there wasn't a lot of time.
Tension that seems to sort of come out of nowhere.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of time for her to get there just on that quick expedition I did.
She can she can walk in and be like, did you? Oh, you
smells like
fucking guys.
Owen might say when you get back she got in this morning, so you might be out of the woods.
And he got in last night.
Mel looks at Yara and says, the arm's got to come off.
Yeah.
It's
I knew it.
Look at it. It's like every color that it's not supposed to be.
I knew it.
Gangrene.
Get that fucking thing off.
Gangrene.
Abby, need you to go to the hospital, get some supplies, get this fucking arm off.
Yeah, it's the Wolf Hospital that we're familiar with. We, as Ellie, have made our way through it.
We learned that this is 0.0 of the, or on the way there. Ground zero of the infection.
Yes.
Which, they basically lay out like, you will see the most fucked up infected in the world, in existence, should be down here, in theory.
I feel like it's actually connected to the boat that lands, because there's messages about the captain learning that there's infected on his ship, and he basically like crashes into the Seattle harbor.
It's like
so I didn't know if that was a coincidence or if it was like, well, I wonder if that's where it started, and then Ground Zero, they called it Ground Zero because that's where they took all the infected.
Yeah. I wonder if it came from the boat into the city or from the city onto the boat. But it's like
the boat was docking at Seattle.
It's like the Jurassic Park ship where everyone's dead and it just smashes into the harbor.
Like, how would it get on the boat if it,
Also, calling someone a bigot sandwich, I think is very funny.
That's gonna maybe be a new thing.
Yeah, not just a bigot.
Yeah.
You're a fucking bigot sandwich.
Mm-hmm. Certainly call anything they're eating a bigot sandwich, whether it's a sandwich or not.
Is bigot cereal bigot soup?
So Abby's worried because she's like, I can't get to the hospital and back. It's going to take days.
Yeah.
The arm's going to
Literal days.
You're going to just explode from infection. And Lev peeps up and says something that I did not believe for a second.
No, what if we could get there in 2 hours?
What if I get you there in 2 hours? And I was like, what is you? Were you magic?
Would you get a fucking rocket ship in that pack there,
Yeah.
Lev? What do you?
Fly?
And he's like, oh, we got sky bridges. We'll just go. And I was immediately like, what a scene, fucking sky bridges.
There's no sky bridges.
But then you kind of get out there and you're like,
it's misty.
Seattle's real misty all the time.
Yep. That river makes it like it's really foggy and misty all the fucking time.
Yeah.
So you start out with Lev, and like I said, kind of coming into this is my favorite travel section of the game by a mile.
Yeah,
I love this part of the game.
It's kind of reminiscent of like Ellie and Joel, like Ellie being young and dumb and naive, and like what's the porno book,
right.
And Lev is the exact same way, but about different shit. Where like she's
it's
like,
a different
that's
style,
cool.
but yeah.
What is cool?
But yeah, like exactly, completely naive to like everything.
Yeah.
Right.
You start off with a really mean fight with a bunch of zombies in an area that you can only get in by breaking windows. So they fucking come at you.
Yep.
I hated that part. We get a lot of the talk about Scars versus Seraphites. He doesn't.
Don't call them Scars.
Yeah, Lev doesn't want you to call them Scars.
Even though they literally scar their faces, they literally cut their faces.
But it's
ceremonially. It is.
Yes,
it is.
And he's like, "We're Seraphites. They cut themselves because they are imperfect in the eyes of God, so they should look imperfect."
Chibs.
Sure. I might point out that I think it is very vain to be like, I am born perfect, but who am I?
Yes.
Matthew, fight.
We could get into the whole. It's fucked up that there's a religion, like a serious religion, that has cropped up in such a little time. Like
maybe not that fucked up. Like look at things like Scientology. Look at like a lot of
even Scientology is based on like old beliefs, though.
Not that old. L. Ron Hubbard was a science fiction author from the 70s. Like not. The amount of time between the outbreak and now is probably about the amount of time in Scientology. But
yes, maybe my respect for the Scientology religion.
Yeah,
does
Scientology is literally based on science fiction writings from the 70s and 80s. L. Ron Hubbard was a science fiction writer.
I guess so.
Who claimed he was a alien sent here to perform a divine. Anyways.
I'll believe it.
Like, what's his name? That guy that we
but he's Thor's the benevolent Venusian. The benevolent Venusian. He's from Venus. He's a Venusian. He's a good man. He's a real deal alien.
Good times.
Paul Hellyer.
Hellyer, there it is.
You move up to a tower. You see a big tower that you got to get to the top of. That's where the bridge
skyscraper,
is.
like an under construction skyscraper. You look up and it's just like wire, not wire, but like iron beams on the top.
Yeah. And as you move through the tower, you encounter some scars that, if you have a keen ear, you notice call Lev Lily. Said, "Oh, it's Lily.
Oh, I found Lily."
Yeah.
You don't even really need a keen ear because I think Abby even says there's
so
dialogue
after they say but he doesn't say Lily. He said, "Did you hear what they called me?"
Oh, I see.
And Abby says,
"Do you want me to ask you about it?"
And he's like, "Do you want to ask me about it?" And she's like, "Do you want me to ask you about it?" And he's like, "No."
Yeah.
So
I like these two. Yeah, I like this really budding relationship between Abby. Abby seems cool. Yes. Abby seems fucking right. Cool.
And Lev seems great. But this was kind of when you start figuring out Lily. Is this where your issue with a religious cult comes from? Yeah. And you can see it with everything we know about religion. Some really good exchanges on the way. We talked about the Lev jumping barrier to barrier.
Fucking Titanfall person.
Yeah,
Just like,
a wall running.
There he goes.
And then a really good thing up on the sky bridge where you're like almost across the sky bridge, and we'll talk about the sky bridge in a sec. And Lev hits you with a, "So what's up with you and Owen?" And
as you're like 1,000 feet in the air, and she's like, "Oh, I can't do this. I'm gonna die. Yeah. We gotta go back." It's
what's
like,
up with you?
So
and
you and Owen?
And I love how even she responded, being like, "This is not the time."
Yeah.
Like,
now?
Jesus,
seriously? How are you guys handling the sky bridge? Before we get to the
it
results?
sucked. It was that
fun.
fisheye
I felt
effect
it.
is so did I.
Yeah.
That fisheye effect is something else.
The only unfortunate part of this is that the time where I finally decided to test how far you can fall
Yeah.
was 5 feet before where you fall.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
sucked. I waited till the end. I'm like, well, if I'm going to fall, I should maybe do it here because I think I'm done.
Yeah.
And then I ended up falling again anyway, and I was like, oh, that kind of sucks.
Well,
Yeah, that moment when you fall, so you fall and crash through a skylight into a pool.
you're like jumping between two sections of a. I thought it was a. Is this part? I thought it was a highway. I thought you were trying to jump onto like a. You're trying to jump across a like highway up in
No,
the
you
air.
just-
And I'm like, whoa!
Yeah, that's when you fall into the water before the boat.
Oh, sorry. That's the other time you fall off a high
Yes,
place into the
yes,
water.
yes.
Okay, my bad.
This is, I think you just kind of slip and fall.
Just eat the
off
jump. Yeah.
off the beam.
I hate that shit. I hate the like. I fell, but I'm fine because
And again,
they do it
I
so
like it better
much.
than the I fell and I'm dead.
Maybe yeah, but like for your cinematic story reasons, like if you want to do it once or twice as a mechanism, all right.
Yeah.
But there's like 6 or 7 times that Ellie and Abby
And that's all through like
fall
Naughty Dogs and like,
don't,
or
yeah.
all through Uncharted and everything. Like
When it's Nate
these
Drake, it
people-
feels fine because you're like, this guy's kind of a superhero, whatever. He's no, and it's like
Abby is,
falling
like,
and doing
jacked.
this.
I
that's
believe
why I believed Abby when she
Yeah.
broke that
The-
concrete. I'm
the
like,
Last
you're
of
too
Us-
big, madam.
The Last of Us is like a way
like
more
me
real
jumping.
world. There's no superpowers. There's no immortal zombies. When Nate Drake is
I mean,
falling,
there's
I'm like,
zombies.
yeah, okay, I sort of buy it. But when Abby and Ellie are doing it 2, 3, 4 times in the campaign of like, I'm falling to my death. Oh, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like,
You're not wrong, but it is something that I totally like.
And, like, the
from the big
convenience of-
dumb action style games, I've just come to expect
Yeah.
it so much.
Convenience of like, oh, lucky there was a pool there
I
that
think
still had water
at
in it
this
right underneath
point.
you.
I think I was like, oh, come on. Like, all right, what
That
are we
said,
doing here?
in both the when I made myself fall and in the actual fall, Lev has a tremendous like, oh no, like an actual like the voice line of her sound so good, like panicked, which made me freak out in that moment of like, shit,
maybe I am
oh
dead.
god damn it.
Good little bit where she gets out of the pool and lays there for like a half second, and Lev is like,
And
"Are you ready?"
We gonna go? What are we doing?
Yeah.
What's
Give me a
hey, come on.
fucking second here.
Let me breathe.
So now you've made it across to Skyscraper 2, and now you have to go down. And Lev says, "Well, normally we just take the elevator down, but you're gonna have to, we're gonna have to walk down. I have no idea what the condition of this building is.
Yeah.
Turns out it's bad.
Yeah, we usually use this other way. We'll have to.
Because you fell.
It might be
You
fucked.
can't get into
Yeah.
the elevator. Yeah.
Oh god, my notes are crashing. Like I told you guys earlier, this is probably my favorite part of day 2. You get into the hospital and leave Lev.
Leave
Sorry,
Lev.
where are we?
Leave Lev. Love Lev.
Leave Lev.
Life Lev.
This is, I think, what you guys were talking about with what may be a bloater and maybe a
In the in the
Yeah.
hospital. Yep.
not in the hospital, in the
Or, pardon me, hotel.
hotel on the way down.
Yeah.
Because it's all there's
'Cause
like a
you're-
giant crack down the middle of the hotel, right? It's like there's a huge chasm, and
Yes.
you're having to like work your way down and jump
Yeah,
across.
and you're kind of hopping down.
This is where you
It's
find the
very
flamethrower.
cool.
I used my fire bullets for my shotgun in here,
Yeah.
and Abby's like, "Wow, this." She said something about a dragon. I don't. Is there something dragon fire weapon? I don't know. She's talking about the flamethrower,
Yeah.
but it's a very kind of like. It kind of could apply to any fire weapon, I guess. But anyways, I'm shooting guys with the fire thing. She's like, "Wow, this dragon breath is amazing," or whatever. I'm like, "Dragon breath? Okay, I guess you could call these shotgun shells that." And then literally 2 seconds later, find the flamethrower. I'm like, "Oh fuck, this thing! I should have been using this the whole fucking time."
It's very useful.
Shit.
You get all the way down, and there's a great moment where you walk out of the hotel, and Lev points out the elevator.
That's the way we would have
Yeah.
taken. Which looks just like a real, like, it would have been like a 2-minute ride.
Yeah,
It would
would've
real
been-
nice, real
would've
nice.
been easy.
Yeah.
And then you arrive at the hospital, just like Lev said, and get into the hospital. You leave Lev behind because he's a scar. You
Can't trust them.
That's right. You tell the people at the hospital that you need supplies for Isaac. But
Is this where you meet, you eventually you meet Marlene here?
Nora?
Nora, sorry.
You say I need supplies, but everyone's saying, well, Isaac is pulling them all out and taking them back to the forward operating base.
and she's just kind of like swinging her command dick around. It was like, well, Isaac actually
Isaac
said,
told me.
he told me to tell you that I need to get these things.
This works for like a hot second because those same people come up to you later and are like, we just talked to Isaac and you're AWOL and you're coming back with us.
You know, I never saw that coming. In a million, I'm like, they bought it.
Yeah.
These dumb idiots.
That was really good.
So they lock you up, and then Nora comes, and Nora uncuffs you because you guys are part of the, if we haven't talked about this yet on the podcast, the Salt Lake City crew.
Yeah.
Who Isaac even says at one point.
SLCC!
Isaac even says at one point, like, should have known the Salt Lake City crew would always be looking out for each other when Nora tells you about Danny.
Yeah. Maybe they were never in Salt Lake City. That's just what they call themselves.
Yeah.
Whichever, you all like Salt Lake? All right, yeah, hell yeah. Mormonism.
Nora frees you, tells you where to get to your shit, gives you a list of places that it might be, but she's like, it's down at Ground Zero. They were treating the infected down there.
We haven't even
bad.
swept that area
Yeah.
yet, so who knows what the fuck's down there.
And we know that someone has offhandedly referred. We've seen new types of. There's been a bit of debate actually because someone in the Discord said the stalkers actually show up in that first game.
Yes, which they totally might have, but I missed it.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. But
Stalkers being the
quick ones that
Stalkers
know where
are the
you
ones
are.
that
You said
hide
that they
behind
were-
I thought they were on high difficulties.
Yeah.
Someone in the Discord said they were on all this.
Yeah.
difficulties.
Oh, okay.
But we have seen new types of infected.
Yeah.
And someone earlier in the game, it might be Joel or Ellie, someone is like, oh, it's evolving. Virus is evolving.
That's the Shamblers.
It's the
for sure.
Shamblers.
Shamblers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when they're like, it's ground zero, and we've seen these new types of infected, you're like, oh, fuck. What the fuck are we going to find down there?
That's fucked. It's not good what we find. Hospital sucks, but is maybe the best part of the game.
I didn't like it was I think the most nerve wracking for me.
Yeah.
Like
If that's
just
what you're
because they
into-
set it up for being like some shit.
Some
Some fucking shit.
fucking shit.
And like the door's closed, so you gotta go in this fucked way and like
You're following a blood trail
Yeah.
of this giant abomination.
Yeah, so you are banging on doors and everything is locked because of the power's down.
Yeah.
So you got to turn the power on. So you're banging on doors and then you bang on one door and you just hear this like disgusting low guttural sound and Abby like slowly backs away from the door and I'm like, I might just put this game down.
she even said
I
like
might-
what the fuck is that? And I like immediately was like use the listen function.
Yeah.
And you can see the silhouette through the door for like 3 seconds and then it goes away because it stops making noise.
Yeah.
And you see the fucking silhouette of how big this thing is.
That
That's a
enemy
good
is
touch.
This enemy is apparently called the Rat King.
Yes.
Yeah, did not like that. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna have to fight this thing. I don't like this at all. Fuck it.
You get the power back on, and then when you come back to the door where the thing
Yeah.
was, the door's open, and there's clearly like a fucking nest. Like
It's like a
things have been
flesh tunnel.
getting-
It's bad. So you can see
There's
bits of like
arms coming out of it.
people
and-
that have kind of fused into this mass, but kind of heaven.
Oh.
It's like almost like a spider web made of humans.
Yeah, it's bad. It's a bad.
It was
find.
rough. Like
and it's
even-
like fresh red gore too,
Yeah.
where it looks like this thing has ripped itself out recently.
And again, the trail of blood leading directly out of it, which you end up following.
it's gross shit.
If you're a scary video game fan, this is just like this was next level from anything I've ever seen from
Some real like Resident Evil
like
type
Resident Evil.
so
shit.
Resident Evil.
Yeah.
So Resident Evil.
So you strike out in most of the areas that Nora told you to check, but you're like, okay, I gotta go check the parking garage. There's an ambulance in there. Most ominous looking ambulance you've ever seen. It's like it's lit and everything else is in shadows.
Plus the fact that like you get to the blood trail and it goes right and the ambulance is very clearly on the left and I'm like,
Well,
this is fucked.
Here we
This is
go.
so
you're like
fucked.
shining your flashlight over there. And you're like,
But at the
are
same
you over there?
at the same
Shooting my
time,
gun to try to trigger anything to run out.
at the same time, I thought about like I should follow this trail to make sure, but I'm like, nope, fuck that. If there's a chance that I can get out of here without legitimately in my head thinking if I don't have to fight that thing, I don't want to. So let's go to the ambulance.
You get into the ambulance. You find what you're looking for. Thank God. And then this
In the
is
driver's seat, apparently,
Yeah.
is the fucking Rat King.
and then this is fucking terrifying because you go to leave and you can hear it, and it's so close.
Yeah.
And your flashlight is just like kind of down at an angle that you can't see out the back of the ambulance, and then you like put the flashlight up and it's right fucking there. And so you haul ass out the front.
This big, like, 50 infected fused together type
Yeah, it
fucking
looks
thing.
like
Blob.
the blob from
Inside.
Inside.
Yeah, a lot.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very Cronenberg, very like teeth coming out at weird angles.
Yes. It was gross.
very gross.
A fun little escape sequence where you're running around before you actually have to fight the thing.
Yeah, it's busting through doors, and like you can hear the. Like there's another like hold triangle moment where like you can hear it like clanging and
it's
banging. You're
right
like,
behind you.
holy fucking go!
It's so well done.
Yeah.
And then the fight is rough.
It's very rough.
Yeah.
Fuck me. In a way that like I couldn't tell. So I immediately upon like, all right, it's time to fight this guy. Dumped 100% of my ammo into it. It was pretty well stocked. Fire bullets, Molotovs, literally everything. Plumb out of ammo. Like, well, I guess I just run around for a while and more infected eventually spawn and you immediately fight them to get more bullets. So I'm like 2 shots at a time as they drop from the infected, like pew pew. Okay, I'm gonna run around again. I gotta fight infected. Fight.
Yeah.
Pew pew.
Something was going on weird with your game because I on both medium and hard plus had a lot of ammo and killed it very quick.
I could not.
Because I had a lot of ammo. So
The
part of
only
it's-
thing that I can think from my playthrough, because I again played on hard, and I
And I'm
wouldn't
only
say
on
that
normal for context here.
right, and I
I'm on
wouldn't say that I
babe
had
mode.
an easy time, but I think I only died twice, to be totally honest. But I think the only thing that I can maybe think is that I didn't use the flamethrower at all until this point. So I think I had 2 full
I think
canisters.
I had full flamethrower too. Like
where
I
fucking
felt
that's
stalked
the first
in a
thing I
way.
did was I dumped the whole canister in, ran around, reloaded it, dumped the whole second canister in, and then used the rest of my ammo. And was
The only thing I could maybe think about
okay.
was like I was very much like I would shoot him and then run, and I'm not sure if there was invincibility time between shots. Because I was
maybe.
trying to, when you were telling me that when you had a lot of ammo.
Yeah, because I was just I would like run to the
And-
far side of the room and it's like blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah 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 blah
And for
blah.
me, I'm like, that's just more than enough. Because I was also playing on normal the first time, and I was like, I don't know, I think it was like 4 fire shotgun shells.
I wasn't even using that shit either.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. And then he rips a little one off of
Yeah.
himself.
So then late in
and then
the
I'm
fight-
like,
yeah.
do I need to kill this little one, or am I trying to kill this little one? I couldn't get the little one to die, and then, god damn it,
Yeah, he rips off like a stalker, but like
Yeah.
a super stalker.
it's the same. It looks like him but smaller. Like it has the weird armor plating,
Yeah.
and like it looks like a smaller Rat King.
Yeah, it's like a gray goop looking thing.
Yeah.
And once you take them both down, you
So I actually didn't kill the small one. When I finally got through it, that small one ran through a door and
Right,
like
and that's supposed to happen.
knocked the
Which it
thing out of the
does.
ceiling, and she's like, "Oh, I can get out that way."
yeah, and she says, "Oh, that thing's still alive." And yeah, he's kind of your out, and then you go through the vent, and you have to fight the little one again.
Yeah.
I think I struggled more with the little one
Me too.
than I did the
That
big
was the
one,
hardest part
because
about
he
this
was
boss
so
fight.
fast and like I couldn't hit him and like.
Seemed to have an awful lot. Of, like it felt
And
like he
I
had
think
more
I
health.
only had 2 bullets after the first one of
Right.
all my guns. So then I was like, well, now I'm fucked. Like that, at least they had some like ammo kicking around in that next area. But
I struggled so
I think I
much on
died,
this
yeah,
fight.
like probably close to 10 times on the little guy.
Oh, you just said maybe you died 2 times the whole run.
Well, I
Here
meant- I
we
meant
go.
with the
Here
big,
we
with
are.
the big guy. I only died like twice.
Oh, okay, I thought you were saying your whole
No.
playthrough was
No,
I'm on
no.
hard. I only died twice. So like, holy.
You kill them both. You get out of the hospital, and Lev is out there, and he's like, "We gotta jet. The wolves are looking for you. They kind of co-opted my hiding spot. I had to get to you, and we gotta get out of there." So you and Lev, fucking
Peace.
the aquarium surgery goes ahead, and Abby and Owen wonder what happened to all the wolves. Oh, this is what I'm talking. This was when I was talking about the Firefly thing. This is where it happens, where they're like, "What happened to us?" And Owen's like, we lost the light. Abby dreams after rescuing him. Everyone. Abby has a dream that her dad is alive, waiting for her at the end of the hall, and smiling approvingly at her actions. So she has a good sleep.
Hell yes.
Okay,
Little much?
okay,
Little on the nose?
okay, Druck. All right.
This is maybe a little on the nose, but
I like
it
that.
is the bang you over the head with it idea that Abby is realizing
You've done
that
a good thing.
the vicious cycle is not the way to go.
Yeah.
It's not the way to make yourself
Yeah.
feel better, because the theme of revenge doesn't make you feel better is not well-worn territory. But
Apparently,
Yes.
yeah. It's and I think I like the story more than maybe most. I give it a lot of passes in places where like,
Yeah.
oh, it's actually probably really heavy-handed, but.
yeah, I think it is a very handy.
Well, yeah, even in like these spots, especially, it's like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
come on, you guys.
And we're on to day 3 after a good sleep. Look, we're flying now. ish.
A lot to talk about on this day 3, though.
Yes, at the day 3 is actually short in gameplay time, so hopefully that helps us. But long in.
Is there a day 4? Is all the
No.
fight happens on day 3? Right?
Everything happens on
Yeah.
day 3. Yeah.
God
Then
damn,
get Santa
I
Barbara.
have so many thoughts about that. boss
Santa
fight.
Barbara, I think we'll fly through.
Fuck Santa
They
Barbara.
don't-
How about that?
No,
It
There's
was
no
a
Don't
way
even
there.
talk about it.
It was a myth.
You're back at the aquarium, and we got some issues. Owen wants to go to Santa Barbara still. Willing to take the Scar kids with him. Sorry, Seraphites.
Which is kind of like things. That's crazy. Things have progressed between Owen and the Scars kids in the last
things-
few hours.
Things have progressed between Owen and Scars in general.
It's true, yes.
Yeah.
But like you went to bed and then you wake up and they're like, "Oh, we're all going to Santa Barbara. You coming? You're coming, right? We need you."
Yarrow wants to take him up on it. Be like, yeah, let's go to Santa Barbara. We have no people now.
What the fuck are we going to do?
These people want us. But Lev doesn't want to leave their mom behind.
Yeah.
Their mom is on Scar Island.
That's right.
I don't have a better name for it.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Scar Island.
Muppet Scar Island.
Pride Rock.
Shaped like a scar in the sea.
Muppet Scar Islands.
Mel is gonna go to Santa Barbara with the Scars and Owen,
As long as
Abby does not come.
That's right.
And she is not buying Abby's change of mind.
Nope.
That seems to have come out of nowhere regarding the Scars.
Calls her a shit person.
Yeah, a
Tells
shit
her how she
person.
ruins everything around her.
Yeah, I see right through you. Owen can't see through you, but I can. And it's very much like personally, I don't know if you guys are any different. I buy that Abby has changed
So
regarding
do I.
this war.
Because
Yeah.
we've
Yeah.
seen her
were there.
dreams.
Yes.
Yeah, we were there.
We've seen her interact with Lev in a way that I'm like, you're cool with Lev.
What are they fighting about?
Fuck you, Yara. I wouldn't leave you behind.
Lev doesn't want to leave Seattle. Owen invited them to come to Santa Barbara.
That is very Owen. I figured you'd have talked him out of going by now.
Actually, I'm going with them. But not if you come.
What?
He may fall for your little act with these kids, but I don't.
There's nothing to fall for.
Isaac's top Scar killer suddenly had a change of heart? Nothing to do with Owen, right?
I haven't always done the right thing.
You're a piece of shit, Abby. You always have been. I'm done with you. You want to do right by these kids? Get out of their lives before you screw them over too.
It's still from like the audience perspective though. It is a very powerful interaction where like it is this not totally misplaced. The rage is not misplaced. Like Owen and Abby fucking slept together just last night. She kind of has the. And I think Mel knows, honestly. I think Mel knows, and it's just kind of, maybe picking a different, doesn't want to open that can of worms right now.
Yeah.
But as the audience, it's really interesting to be like, she's totally kind of right about this, but for the wrong reasons.
And you can understand the optics being Mel, being like, oh, you were literally, and she calls you this, Isaac's top Scar hunter.
Yeah.
And then somehow, days after Owen decides he's done fighting Scars, now all of a sudden you're not into killing Scars either. Like, this has to do with Owen, not to do with Scars.
And there's a very good line, and this might even be word for word, but she basically says, "You're a shit person."
Yeah.
You're
You're
not
a
fooling.
piece of shit.
Yeah, you're not
Yeah.
fooling me. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then that kind of ends the conversation. I'm like, fuck.
If you did miss it, this is the Lev Lily reveal.
Yes.
Yara. Kind of, I think, I don't know why, but my phone wanted to autocorrect to Yarrow every time. And I think at one point I was like, sure, I know.
That might be right, yeah.
I know what her name is.
Whatever.
First you play Fetch with Alice.
Oh, it's very good.
Yes.
And Lev plays fetch. And Lev is afraid of the dog at first.
Yara.
Is Yara's the one who's afraid of the
Yara.
dog? Okay.
They're both afraid of the dog.
Yes.
They
But
both
this is
hate
with
dogs
Yara,
because
who
wolves,
plays
but
fetch.
you have, you have
Lev is
Yara.
running away.
It's a very good moment. It's the
Lev-
one who is.
Lev has disappeared.
I'm
Yes.
not. Oh yeah, he's hiding.
I'll back up a little bit.
Aquarium.
Because Lev is so distraught about the mom.
Yeah.
Lev says,
He's run off.
I'm going to go. Well, he doesn't even say. He just takes off.
Yeah.
And Yara, not knowing that he's going to fucking head for Scar Island, is like, I just need you to help me find him. Maybe
he's
we'll pick up a
upset.
gift for him.
Let's go to the gift shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like that scene with the dog where
So
Yara's afraid of
good.
it. She's like, oh, I'm kind of afraid of it. And I am totally fucking not afraid, but kind of afraid of big dogs like that in the same way.
And especially for her, growing up a Scar, being relatively young, that all she's ever known is these dogs attacking you as the wolves use them.
Totally.
So, like, that would make total sense that she's, like, super standoffish of this thing because that's all she's ever known is them coming at her fucking throat.
I really empathize with the dog fear in a way.
Fuck, did they ever make it look good when that, like, the dog, like, brings it back and kind of has that little, like,
They did
prance
such a good
and,
job
like,
of making you love the dog.
These dog
Like,
guy, that's probably a real dog they're mocapping.
Oh, would not surprise me at all. It was incredible. I loved it. I
Alice,
sat there and did
Alice
it
is a
forever.
good dog. Alice is her better. Alice maybe done the dirtiest of anyone.
Yes.
I literally did this until it told me. Like, I think at one point Abby's like,
we should probably go.
"You gotta go." And I'm
So
like,
did I.
Yeah.
"You shut the hell up."
Me too. We're playing.
This game is bringing me down. I need this right now.
You throw it once, then I get to throw it, then you throw it.
We get a lot of the finer points of Lev's decision to shave his head, and that it came from the fact that Lev wanted to be a soldier, and they wanted Lev to be a wife.
A wife to one of the elders.
Right.
Yes.
Which is fucked.
Super fucked.
But something that I totally know exists in
there's
in
no
the world around us. But
There is no.
Today,
So
yeah.
the trans character that everyone is apparently so mad about is spoilers. Lev.
Yes.
We learn where he shaved his head, and that is
Yeah.
Lev identifies as he or they.
Yes.
Shaved his head, and that is a huge trans. Girls can't shave their head. Girls need to have
Right.
long hair.
Yeah.
Girls need to be wives. They need like all of this kind
and
of
like all of the men shave their head.
Yeah.
In the Scars
Yes.
world. So like, for him to do that, that's him saying, "I am one of the guys."
and they're going to kill him for it. Also,
Right.
just fuck.
and he wants to go back to them for a good long time.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, it's the mums, man.
Even apart from the mom. Well, so maybe he does want to go because earlier before he reveals that like, oh, my mom is still there. He keeps talking about going back to them, and Yara's like,
feel
they're
like-
just gonna kill us. Are you fucking crazy? But
feel like that is
maybe
because
the
of the
mom
mom,
thing
yeah.
was kicking the whole time.
But we get a quick geography lesson for Yara saying how far Santa Barbara is from Seattle, which is actually something that I really liked because it kind of blew my mind imagining someone who just didn't know at Yara's age the concept of distance,
Yeah.
where it's like, this is Seattle,
Yeah.
Santa Barbara's way down here, and she's like, well, how far is our island?
Yeah, where's our island?
She kind of gets perspective, and it's like she's like touching Seattle.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
she's
she says it's too small. You can't see it.
Yeah,
but if you
it'd
could,
be
it'd be
right
right here.
here.
And she's like, oh, I had no idea. It's
and then
so big.
Yara's like, oh, it's so far away. That's
And
fantastic.
They
That's
talk
what we
about other countries too in this scene, or like overseas and things in a way that like made me wonder what the fuck is going on overseas.
And
need. Yeah. Well, and later in Santa Barbara, Lev says there's a little bit where Lev says to Abby, what if this doesn't work out? What if this is just a busted lead again? And
Yeah.
Abby's like, well, what do you want to do if it doesn't work out? And
You just say,
Lev's like, I
sail
want to go
west.
west.
Yeah. We're just gonna sail west.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Fuck yes.
what the fuck's west?
Last of Us Part 3 in
What
Japan.
if there's just civilization?
Well, it might be because have you ever seen 28 Days Later? I don't think I'm misremembering, but in 28 Days Later, it's this terrible zombie rabies apocalypse, and then I think you learn that it's kind of localized to the UK. Like it didn't leave the island, and I might be totally misremembering. This has been
And
a
then
lot of
everyone
years.
is just like, we just got to leave them. Because
I think so.
My whole
'cause,
thing
like,
with like there could be civilization is like, why hasn't civilization come to help?
Yeah, well, you don't. We're quarantined, man. We don't get the fucking cordyceps over here.
Yeah.
So let the Americans burn.
Plus, it's the U.S. I mean,
Yeah. We saw how they handled. I guess they didn't make it to their COVID response.
We're seeing how they're handling COVID.
Yes,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Where are we?
I like to think that Canada's just like untouched.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Just like rats.
Sitting up there, getting ready to
border
legalize
wall
weed.
still up. Yeah. Hey, welcome in. He hands you a joint. Says, hey, oh, it's Lee. Oh, I see you tried this, and I know Eugene.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sells all the stuff up here. Hey, Dong of the Wolf. I'll say something good for you later.
You find a shark for Lev.
Yeah.
That's the toy of choice.
I like that scene a lot. You're going through, they find like a t-shirt. Like, this doesn't really fucking make any sense.
this is
And
stupid.
You're grabbing stuff, and then Owen comes down and is like, hey, everything in this aquarium is mine,
Yeah.
including this gift shop.
Yeah.
I think it's here with the giraffe. There's a giraffe toy that she No, because it's when you're playing as Ellie. There's a giraffe toy somewhere where she sketches it because of the giraffe from the first game.
Yes.
I thought it was here, but it was a toy somewhere. Anyways.
And then Owen's like, I'm just kidding. I really like the scene where Owen, because for a second I'm like, man, this is where Owen, he's going crazy.
Because Owen's like, just kidding, you can take it.
Yeah.
You can have anything you want. And then looks at Abby, he's like, you can't.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
like
you
your
can have anything.
Yeah.
Not
And then
you.
it calls back to it later and being like, he knows I was kidding, right? Or
Yeah.
she knows I was kidding.
Yeah, it's like
right?
immediately after she leaves, he's like,
She knows joking?
Yeah. Probably not.
Nope.
No one fucking.
Yara might have. Lev absolutely no idea.
and we find out that Lev has stolen a boat. And is heading for Scar Island.
Hero.
Yeah. Abby's going to go after him.
Storm's coming, so
with Yara's
she
help.
got to fucking move.
Owen wants to go and help. That pisses off Mel, understandably.
Yes.
And Abby's still raging from her first encounter with Mel.
She tells him to get his priorities straight.
Yes.
In a way that a lot of these conversations feel like real conversations I've had or heard people near me have.
Yeah.
And the whole like, the fuck are you saying? Get your fucking priorities straight.
Yeah.
In a way
Resonated?
Totally. In a way that I'm like, man, I feel like I've been around people having this argument before. Jesus.
You quickly jet off towards the marina. You got to get a boat. But guess who is here to get the boats?
Who?
For the war?
No.
Your boy Manny.
What? What are you doing here, Manny?
You hear
was a great moment.
You hear shots coming, so you tell Yara like, stay back. There's gunshots. I'm gonna go clear it out because you only got one arm. You useless, mean. And you instantly, conveniently say, you stay here. Go up a ladder, jump down a thing, and Manny is like,
He's
I'm
right
your
there.
new partner.
Yeah,
Let's go.
he comes around a corner or something and just like presses back and looks at
He's
you
like, get down.
Hey, good thing you're here.
We're gonna take out the sniper.
Welcome to the fight, motherfucker.
Fucking sniper. This is the true sniper part.
That's right. This is the sniper part. This part is very well done.
Yeah,
but
I like this
yes,
part a
I see a
lot.
lot of people complaining about how hard this was. You are getting. Not you guys.
Not me.
You
no.
guys.
Ironically, died 1,000 times in the hospital. Literally made the sniper part in one try, which is very cool.
Sniper sequence is dope. There's clearly a right way to do this.
100%.
But what this game does well, and I'm sure what's frustrating a lot of people, was they give you a lot of almost right way looking things that you can do.
There
where
are
you
some
go
gaps
for it, and it's
that
just
are
like boom.
Yeah, some gaps are actually just a little too big that sniper shoots you as you're trying to run through. They're like, what the fuck? It looks like I'm supposed to make this.
But you can very easily navigate that whole sequence up to where the clickers get involved without getting
garage,
shot.
right?
Yeah.
There's a part you can hide behind. You can even hide behind the van when he activates the clickers, and he can't hit you, but you still have room to fight the clickers back there.
Yeah.
And
there
there's a couple.
There is a well designed. This is where you should be at all times. Path through that.
Which, if you get off that, I totally understand how.
Because he shreds you.
Yeah, and as soon as you leave it, it becomes impossible to find again because it's very natural. Like, okay, I hide behind this, and like the sun ray. I'm like, oh shit, okay, I gotta go to there, and it's like very naturally leads your eye. Where as soon as you deviate from that, you're like, well, I'm just gonna die 1,000 times, I guess.
I will also say that me at this point, because of it being like you leave the kid and then you go up and then you just boom, boom, boom happens so fast that I had not clicked as to who this sniper was just yet.
No.
Which was great because then there's that moment in the parking garage where you get that hint of who it might and probably is.
That is also where I figured it out.
Yeah.
is You are, if you couldn't figure it out already.
You get up, I think, to the second level when he does it, right?
And the sniper starts shooting the terrain around you,
Cars,
the vehicles,
things,
and Manny's like, "What is this guy doing?"
He's
or
not
Abby's
even
like,
trying
"What
to
is
hit
this guy
us."
doing?"
Yeah.
And he's sitting there being like,
and we as players know, and then Manny's immediately like, "Oh shit, he's bringing the clickers in."
It's Uncle Tommy.
This is very well done. I mean, I look back on it and be like, "How did I not know that was Tommy from?"
I know.
I was genuinely surprised.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh fuck! I even texted you. I'm like, oh, it's Tommy.
Yeah. So just the way that they kind of seeded that Tommy likes to shoot stuff to bring the monsters out was a great reveal. You play through some more sequence. Tommy's kind of running away, and he pins down a door, and you try and go through the door, and Manny's like, no, he's going to be expecting that.
Yeah.
Let's go through this way.
Check this shit out.
And you try and get through that way, but you can't, and Tommy just comes around the corner and just blows Manny's head off.
Manny's gone.
Yeah.
It was like
Instantly.
another great example of what this game did so well with these moments where it was just like happens.
Yeah, and it was coming out of a like push triangle to coming out of a push triangle to try and shimmy this thing open.
Yeah.
And you're like, and Manny's like, you know what, this isn't working. And then boom.
Yeah, just gone. Just and like no ceremony,
And then-
no music. He's just that's the last you ever see or hear of Manny.
You
Done.
immediately have to go because now you are in the line of sight.
Right.
Where like you don't have time to be like, my friend, or like anything. You just fucking
so fucking pissed. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill whoever they've got.
Yeah.
Fucking damn it.
You barrel through the door. You eventually find him. You get into a bit of a scuffle. Yara shows up and helps you get the upper hand, and you push Tommy right down into the water.
Kick him into the drink.
Yeah, where we expect
I'm sure
he
we'll
is-
never see him again.
Yeah, where he is found later by our pal Jesse. But R.I.P. Manny. And if you're keeping score, Manny was the gameplay-wise 7th person to go down. Uh-oh.
Is it 7?
Yeah.
Because just Abby left.
Well, it's it's Abby left. Timeline-wise, Owen and Mel are still alive, but gameplay-wise,
Yes. Okay. Yeah. We already know their fate.
Right.
We've sealed it.
So that's everyone but Abby.
We're getting close.
Where are we? Yeah, we are getting close. We're
Things
going
are
as
the
fast as I
game
can.
itself. I mean, is like we are. It is building to that Ellie Abby moment in
That
a way that
moment.
'cause Manny just died. Things are like things are accelerating in a way that
You arrive on the island. You take the boat. You get to the
Scar
island.
Island.
Yep, Scar Island. Isaac's already launching the
you
attack.
see
Storm's going.
a bunch. It's like the fucking Normandy invasion. You see like 100 fucking boats
It's
coming
a
as you're
lot
coming.
of boats.
and like even like the amount of like the buildings that the scars are inhabiting too.
Yeah.
Like it being lit up and like it kind of shows that one part where you're like, Jesus, like a lot of fucking people over here.
Oh, yeah.
Like this is another one of these big colonies and you're like, shit.
And this is not an island. This is it is an island, but it is not an actual geographic island pre all this shit going down.
Is this the one with the Space Needle on? Is this the island with the Space
this
Needle?
Is the island with the Space Needle, which confused me.
Which was great.
Yeah.
Because earlier in the game, I literally out loud, even you might have been there, where I was like, where the
this is
fuck
the
is this
Space
Space
Did
Needle?
they-
Like, why would
Brando-
they be so accurate with this fucking arena?
Did they move the
And,
Space
like-
Needle to an island in like 2018 or something?
And then you finally see it, and I'm like, oh, okay, there it
And
is.
it was actually Warren asking me that, which made me think like, oh yeah, you see the needle. It's when you're on. Like, in my head, I was
Yeah.
like, you see the needle. It's when you're on the island. I'm like,
Whoops.
why? Why is the needle on the island? So then there's actually a map that you can see that. I think it appears a few times. It's
Yeah.
like one of the Wolves combat maps or something, and it's just like this is all water.
Yeah.
So you see how much of Seattle is flooded. Make your way through some stealth sequences here.
I found these to be hard. There's
Yep.
so many scars.
A lot
Oh
of
my
people
God.
here. You finally get to Yara's house, and you see the ugly aftermath of the mom, who is dead.
So dead. It looks
So
like
dead.
Ellie just came out. Like
Right.
she is so fucking. She got it worse than Joel somehow.
And Lev says, I accidentally killed her.
How many
and
times,
I'm like,
Lev?
Good Lord, it was a hell of an accidental
Holy
killing.
shit.
Yeah.
And it was very much implied that it was in self-defense.
Yeah.
She came at Lev.
She tried to kill him.
He, I think, said pushed her, and she banged her neck on the table.
Yeah.
But boy, does it look like she got ripped apart by 1,000
Oh yeah, she is like.
monsters.
Been dead.
Yeah.
Been has.
Lev is doing his best to get over it. You guys are like, we got to get out of here. And you make your way towards Haven. Haven, I think it's Haven? Maybe it's Heaven.
No, Haven.
It's Haven?
Yeah, the main kind of
The
village.
capital city, Scar Island.
Also worth pointing out, every single building on this place is logs and thatch roofs. Every single,
Yeah.
even as I'm walking through here and people are like holding torches, I'm like, oh, you shouldn't have that close to that house. That is.
This place actually looks really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
You're going to get to Haven, and everything's going to be on fire, and it might be the best this game has looked the whole time.
This is the only time I stopped to take a cutscene.
Yes.
Or a
picture?
screenshot. Yeah, pardon me.
Haven is where the boats are, so we got to get to the boats. But you eventually run into some wolves, including Isaac. One shoots Yara in the gut. Right, like Yara's first one in gets shot in the gut. You can't come up behind screaming. And Abby disarms the person who shot Yara in the gut, does not kill the wolf. But then Isaac shows up. And Isaac is about to kill Abby because...
First time we see him.
Yes. Isaac is about to kill Abby because Abby is defending Scars. Abby refuses to step aside. Isaac kind of hesitates, but then goes to shoot Abby. But Yara, in that amount of time, shoots Isaac in the back. He's dead.
Apparently killing him.
Yes.
I was so, because we just hear a line of dialogue there. It's like, Isaac's dead.
It's on the radio, yeah.
What?
Yeah. And, but then Yara gets just lit up with machine gun fire.
Oh, yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Yara's gone.
Scarface.
Yeah.
But you escape with Lev. Then Lev is like, those are your fucking people. Abby's like, you're my people now. And
Yes,
you're like, okay,
that's
the
a good
bond is
line.
solidified.
I like that.
Yes.
You're my people.
Yeah, and then they're in this together. And you can seal it real quick.
It's Joel and Ellie all over again.
Yeah, you can seal it real quick because, another great line before we get into it. As you're heading into the section with the wolves, where Abby is likely, unless you play this game very well stealth, going to kill a lot of wolves, she says to Lev in one of those little quiet areas, grab everything you need. And Lev's like, I have everything I need. And in he's going to fucking mow some people down. Lev will comment if you kill wolves in the next area. He seems to just comment after you kill your first wolf from here on out. Says, that was a wolf you just killed.
It's like, yeah, Lev, I know.
Ben has killing wolves.
But he comments after your first one.
Yeah.
Because you had, till this point, never killed a wolf.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried so hard to not kill wolves to figure out for this podcast if Lev would change his dialogue.
Different VO.
Yeah. Turns out doesn't say you killed those wolves, but doesn't say anything interesting either way.
So you did do it non-lethal?
I did do it.
And
I did it on hard
He
plus
just has
too.
nothing to say?
Just says nothing, but then I think later I killed a wolf and
Oh, you
he
killed
said,
that.
"Oh,
That was a wolf you killed.
Yeah. So you fight your way through the whole wars going on. You kill everybody, jump on a horse, big escape sequence on a horse, going through the fire, jumping over ramps. You fight some more motherfuckers, and then you gotta fight against the big boss man.
Yeah.
Not actually big boss man. That would have been good.
Was this guy ever fucked?
Yeah. This guy takes a beating. You rip his mouth open.
The Glasgow smile.
Yeah.
It's like fucking Joker scars.
Yeah,
Oh.
and it's disgusting. But he takes it like a fucking champ. He's like, this is not going to slow
because you
me
have a
down.
sickle or something.
Yeah,
For some reason, you have
start with a
fucking
sickle, yeah.
hook, and you like hook it on the outside of his face. You just rip his whole fucking face off.
Takes an arrow through the fucking shoulder.
From
too,
Lev,
from
yeah.
Lev,
And then you snap
which
the
literally doesn't phase him at all.
No, and then you snap the front of the arrow off and jab it through his face.
It was brutal.
Like literally his whole the side of his cheek. Like his whole left cheek is just gone.
Yeah.
Like you just see his
Mush.
teeth and
It was
blood
really
and
brutal.
fucking
To the point of like,
he looked like a
This
zombie.
felt excessive.
this was the one where I'm like, why? Why? We don't.
Because we can't.
Do we
We
need a-
have the 4K.
Do we need a boss fight here? Like, what are we doing? This was the violence. Say what you will about it. I kind of never had a problem until this particular thing.
This
It
was
was just
a
like,
little
what the
bit much.
fuck are we? What are we doing?
She lost all her shit here too.
Yeah.
Yes, she loses
Lose
her
the backpack.
Stuck. She tried crawling out and it was stuck under a piece
when
of wood. or
And then has a
something.
moment where she's like Lev is getting actively strangled, and she's like, I gotta get my backpack before I help you.
Just a second, because
And doesn't leave it behind until,
for a
like-
gun or something in her pack.
Yeah, maybe. Probably be useful.
Is when she
but-
grab shoots the guy who's strangling Lev or something.
No, I think she runs up and just boots him.
Yeah,
it's
because she never gets.
hand-to-hand-
Did she ever get
no,
the
he never
backpack?
gets the guns.
Because
No.
that's when
Takes
that's
the
when you
sickle
kind of
from the
know.
guy
That's when
that-
you're
Yeah.
like, oh, we're in the
strangling, I
end
think.
game now because
That's
I just
right.
lost all my
I've
fucking
lost
gear.
all my shit.
Yeah.
You kill the guy, get on the boat, head back to the aquarium.
Oh, and we know what
we know
Abby's gonna
what's been
find
going
there.
on at the aquarium.
Which honestly, I think in hindsight, for whatever fucked up reason, even though I knew that we were like day 1, day 2, day
Yeah.
3, it wasn't until I got when it showed the aquarium, you getting back to it, I'm like, oh shit,
I gotta see it.
right. And then I think it was because I had taken that big break too, where I was like, oh yeah, because we're getting back to the point where Abby gets back to the theater, so this is
It's gonna
gonna
be like right after.
oh
Which-
fuck.
and you start to put it together. Where you're like, oh fuck, Abby is gonna find Mel's and Owen's bodies and is gonna just full head of
Lose her
steam
mind.
into that fucking theater.
Look
You've
out.
already been through the process of Abby walking in on her dad, getting absolutely murked after the fact, and you're like, oh, we're just doing it again.
Yeah.
She's gonna be so pissed at Ellie.
This time it's 2 people.
Again, we get Abby's perspective on the whole terrible thing. You walk through the crab door.
There was a moment. There was a moment with Ellie when I played through where when you get to the aquarium, and you get to the area where clearly they sleep, There's a bed. There's a dog's bed with a little bowl and whatever, and there's a fridge and like a kitchen area, and there's this fucking sunroof skylight, and I'm like, that's a fucking. Why the fuck would they have a skylight there? Like it's raining, dripping this water, and I'm like, that's fucking. And if it was broken, why the fuck would you pick here to live? Sort of thing. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. And then you do this Abby playthrough, and that's where you break through to get in, and I'm like. Oh. Yes, that was awesome.
Owen better not give me shit about the broken window.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of those, and we didn't touch on all of them, but there's so many touchstones where you can put like you hear the sniper fire with Tommy from the sniper fight going on when you're Ellie and Jesse, and that's when you guys split. Like, there's a lot of good moments where you're like, oh, this is exactly where I am in relation to Abby right now or Ellie right now.
Yeah.
You get back to the aquarium and you go through the crab doors, and it is shot in the exact same way that the Firefly Discovery is, where she
Does it even
walks
have a
in.
red light? In my memory, it has a red light, but maybe I'm...
but that's probably it doing its thing.
Yeah.
Because they're very similar scenes. And yeah, everyone's dead, and Abby pukes, having seen it.
I was kind of surprised that she did, actually. That was the one where I was this is real fucked and shocking.
Left Owen on a fight, too.
I never thought we'd see the day that she was gonna
puking mere days after having unprotected sex.
She's pregnant.
I
don't really know much about human physiology. What's the word I'm trying to say? But it would definitely not be that quick. I don't know how babies get made, but pretty sure that's right.
But I mean, the parallels are all there.
Unfortunately, Ellie left the map behind, which was a real bad call. Which I guess I can kind of buy it because she killed the pregnant lady, and that's a bad call. But she got some people killed with this little mistake.
Well, she was very much in the state of shock when they took her out of there.
She got people killed.
She got people killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the best people.
Yeah. He just didn't live long enough to see himself become the villain.
That's right.
He'd have got there.
We get Abby's perspective on the theater events now. You kind of breaking in with Lev.
Which is cool because you don't know, you don't see Lev.
Yeah, because Lev is kind of behind the bar.
He's
on
so
the
short.
side.
Yeah.
So fast forward all the way to where we took you last podcast. She's got Tommy on the floor.
Yeah.
She says, we let you live.
Dead. Jesse got shot in the face.
Been dead.
Says to Ellie, we let you live and you wasted it. Tommy gets up, knocks the gun to the side, but is shot by Lev, goes down.
With an air shot by Lev with an arrow?
Yes.
Okay.
And then Abby shoots him in the back of the head.
Yeah. Like, well, there
with
goes
a gun.
Tommy.
Meanwhile, you are booking it.
I was so sure Tommy was dead at this point.
Yes.
So sure.
Yes.
I was kind of mad when he wasn't, actually.
Yeah. Well, he caused a lot of trouble.
The fuck does it take? What is this, Dragon Ball Z?
It was like
nobody's ever really
the
gone.
shot's like up here, which means either shot him through the back of the head, which I think less and less, even though that's what I thought happened.
Yeah.
But I think he was like side head and got grazed in the front.
I don't know. He's real. Like, he can't walk anymore.
Oh, yeah.
He
No,
can
he's
barely
fucked.
speak.
He's fucked.
Like,
Like,
it could have went through his brain and just not killed him.
Sure. Yeah. It totally can happen. Let's talk about the fight.
The Jesse kill from Abby's perspective was incredible.
Yes.
Still sucked,
Yeah.
but the way that it looked of her just being like boom.
Yeah.
Like just
She
literally
doesn't even
pulled it.
know who comes out of that door.
Just boom.
Shooting whoever it
Gone.
is. Yeah. What do you guys think of the fight? You chase her into the back of the theater.
So I remember every time leaving the theater as Ellie, I'm like, because there's like crawl spaces and
It's
shit.
a
I'm like,
big area.
this is going to be something. I even said it to Brandon. I'm like, there's going to be a fight here at some point. And then when I finally got to this point, Brandon was watching me again. I'm like, little did I know how big of a fight it was going to be.
This Ellie Abby boss fight was, I think, my least favorite part of the game. It is a mechanical video game where it's like, I got to shoot her twice. She's going to go into this phase. Now she does the bombs. I'm going to shoot her twice. She's going to go into this phase. Now she does this.
Very, they had such good ideas. And you can see those good ideas. And I think I saw way more of those good ideas because this is the part of the game that I got the most stuck on. Yeah. I spent a lot of time trying everything and not being able to get to Ellie. And there's a lot of moments that I was like, oh, that's so cool the first time I saw him happen. And
she's putting bombs down. Oh,
the first time she puts a bomb down, I'm like, you fucking bitch.
And you can see her doing the emote that you usually see her do on the other end.
Yeah,
right?
the sounds it makes. And the first time I threw an bottle at Ellie and she just sidestepped it, I was like, Oh fuck, that's my go-to.
Yeah.
But yes, so this is the part that we kind of teased last podcast that happened to both of you guys. You both got Ellie into the sequence animation after you hit him, and then died because the sequence took you to a trap.
Yep.
And then got like respawned later in that sequence.
Yeah, we both sequence broke this fight in a way. Luckily, I died and it put me back, and I saw the whole thing eventually from start to finish.
I think.
But yeah, I was incredibly confused in a way. I'm like, is this even the same time?
And
what
like I had watched her just place one that was nowhere close to me, and I am 95% sure that that's the one that blew up. That for whatever reason, it just was.
You
like,
go to. For me, it was like, I'm going to hit Ellie, and as I'm zooming to her in the cutscene, it moves me over a bomb, and that bomb blows me up. But because I'm in the cutscene, I don't die. But I still get the like death effect, and it was very strange.
Yeah, in concept, I loved this. In execution, there was.
I thought it was really, really easy. Like,
I was right there with you, where like you just
like Ellie just seems so stupid in that like I easily just kind of slowly crouched up, got close enough to her, and then fucking hit her. And then like I was using my listen, and no, there she is. Sneak up behind her, do it again.
It was the total opposite for me. Like whatever logic they were trying to write in for Ellie, I was doing what they wanted me to be doing because I was like, fuck me, I can't get close to her. Like every time I try and run up on her, she sees me coming, and every time I try and sneak around her, like even when I like. She'll like move a chain and I'll be like, hey, she's right there. And then I'll kind of get over there and then she'll be like coming up behind me. And I'm like, fuck, she knows what I'm going to do all the time before I do it.
Yeah, I found if you never uncrouched, I had to do one loop around a thing, like squeeze through a wall, like do any loop.
Yeah.
And then she'd go, whoa, and she would turn around and start doing the counter loop. And it very much in a way that I'm like, oh, okay. Like I feel like I figured out her AI in a way where like she's going to do the opposite of whatever I do. And as soon as I figured that out, it was just like phase 1, boom, phase 2, boom, phase 3, boom, phase 4, boom. All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
And then Warren's was just pressure. Like Warren was like running up to her and hitting her like right off the start in a way where I'm like, Jesus,
just like getting up on her before this time. Yeah. Mechanically, I think this fight, because Ellie is stealthy and she has a knife that never breaks, and she when you play her, she is very much this strike from the shadows. In this fight, she is the opposite, where you cannot run up on her. She's this unstoppable juggernaut where the second she sees you, it's just for your toast.
Yeah.
And like the weird inversion where like now Abby has to be the stealth character. And also, I, Matthew, the player, do not want to fucking do this. I do not want to choke Ellie to death in a way that, like, as I'm going through the Strangle Ellie cutscene, QuickTime event, I'm just saying, like, I do not want to do this.
I do not. Saying out loud the exact same thing.
I'm kind of not having fun anymore. I don't know what it is. This is too far. I don't want to do. I'm still pressing because I need to see the end of this game for the podcast, but. Maybe I'll just stop playing here. Like this would be a fine. They just spawned in the theater.
Than you.
I do not want to do this at all.
I was on like totally on like this is how Ellie has to go.
Yeah.
This is like she has been awful, and this is like if she goes this game, I want to be the one that to do it with Abby.
It would have been a fine death, I suppose. If that's where it ended up, I probably would have felt better after it. But the way it all, I did not. I don't enjoy this part
the
of the
way
game
it went
at all.
after.
Yeah. Like the way everything does land. Didn't feel good doing it, and then didn't feel good after with the resolution you get of like,
I would have felt okay doing it if the game had ended right there.
Yeah. So would I. Totally.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. If that's where you just kill Ellie and she's dead, and like, well, that's what you get. Doesn't revenge suck? Like, yeah. Fuck. All right.
Roll credits.
That would have been something. Man, imagine that song fly. Ellie dies, fades to black, and they just hit you with the fucking songs.
You, as somebody who thought she was going to die, did you think that this was how she was going to die then? You said you struggled with doing it.
Yeah, not immediately in the scene. Like I knew it was going to lead to her death, but I assumed she would get hurt, and they would talk, and there would be a like.
So you weren't actually thinking that this was the end.
I knew there would be a climax, like a finale of some kind.
Dina gets up in Abby's grill to try and help you out, but Lev shoots Dina with an arrow.
Yeah.
And then Abby goes to slit her throat.
Fucking.
Yeah, bangs her head on the floor.
God damn, just gives it to her in a way. I'm like, oh, Dina's dead. Dina's dead. Stop.
So
she's already dead. You don't need to.
Yeah. And then puts the knife to her neck, and Ellie's like, don't, she's pregnant. And Abby gives a very sinister good. And totally looks like she's going to do it. I thought she was going to do it. And then Lev is like, Abby. And Abby's jarred to her senses and says, I don't want to ever see you again.
Yes.
And walks off.
Yes.
Breaking the cycle.
The game should have ended.
Yes.
Oh, man. If the game ends right there, that is, to me...
Yeah.
masterstroke where I'm like,
And it was such a like,
I would love that.
because Ellie's face was so fucking fucked up from getting hit over and over.
And she was doing like
shit,
the
man.
couldn't talk through her nose voice.
Right, and Dina's fucked up, and baby daddy's dead, and Joel's brother's, I assume, dead,
Yeah.
and just
And that's like
she literally left him in shambles. And
Abby
like,
has destroyed this fucking
Yeah.
Ellie team
Single-handedly, pretty much.
twice, and at the end of it all, has basically won the day and been like, "Fuck off, leave me alone."
Yes, this is done now.
Yes.
We're not done with Ellie yet
No,
because
I don't hate it. I'll say that
No,
I don't
no.
hate that the game continued, but I feel like this would have,
There's
if
a-
it ended here, it would have just been.
Wouldn't
there's
hate it either.
there's a way this farmhouse scene makes me feel conflicted in a way that I was like, I can't believe a video game made me feel this way.
Yeah,
Like,
I
just
think-
read me well enough.
Yeah,
that-
all these before we even get into this farm scene thing, because it's so divisive. Where people, much like myself, feel the game. To be clear, I love the game as it is. I think that epilogue, having seen it, is beautiful and has value. But the way that it makes you feel, where you are just so angry and it feels like you cannot put a motivation to these characters anymore. It feels like Ellie's motivation makes no sense in a way. That I feel it totally does make sense in a way that like she is mentally ill. PTSD is
Yes.
no fucking joke, and who knows what else she has going on.
and like Abby and they're different. You can't just be like, well, the way to cure PTSD is to do a good deed and have a dream about your father figure smiling at you. But Ellie hasn't had that moment of acceptance yet in the way that Abby really obviously got to the point where she's like, I just want to save these scars and go on with my day.
Yeah.
Like if she had got Lev off that island and her friends hadn't been dead at the aquarium,
It'd be fun.
we're hunky dory.
Get on that boat.
Yeah,
They might
Fuck
even,
out.
who knows, they might meet years later and end up being allies because they save each other
Sure.
from infected or
Yeah.
something.
Could have happened, but no.
We open her with her mom haircut in the fucking farm. The biggest mom haircut in a way. The Dina, I'm so amazed Dina let that haircut fly.
Yeah, Dina probably gave her that haircut.
Ellie, you look like you're fucking 60. What happened?
Like think about the odds. Dina probably gave her
Yeah,
that
Dina
haircut.
probably gave her that. She probably cut it herself when I saw this fucking thing.
We have we're at the farmhouse. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh,
picturesque.
Amber waves of grain.
That's right. We got a 10 out of 10 baby.
Big
Great
fence. Really, what was his name?
JJ.
JJ? Yeah,
which
JJ.
is
So happy.
Believed to, I thought it was Jesse Jr. Neil Druckmann came out and said it is not Jesse Jr. Turns out it is Jesse Joel.
Jesse
which makes a
Joel.
lot,
Yeah,
makes
hell
a lot
yeah.
of sense. Ellie is quite the artist now. She's improved greatly in the last several months. She has some of Joel's whittling. We can talk about anything you guys like in the house here.
I like the song.
That's right. Grave, no grave can keep my body down.
You can put the record on as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is the one
that's
you
the
put
song.
on. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, play me some music. Yeah, you're dancing with the kid. It's a real like happy home life in a way that I'm like, hey, everything
Making faces with the babies.
Yeah, everything worked out.
And like the second you put it on, Dina's like, "Oh shit!
Yeah, I love this song.
I love the song. Yeah, they seem like a very happy couple in
Yeah.
a way that I'm like, yes, awesome.
Yes.
Roll me the credits, Neil. Let's get the fuck out of here. This is good.
You take JJ out to sit on the tractor in another place that you could have just faded to black here, and been like, okay, and that's where Ellie ended up.
that's
That's
on the
pretty good.
tractor.
Yeah. Everything seems great. This place seemed like it would be an incredibly expensive place if it was not the apocalypse.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's a huge house and big property. And
Dina wants you to go put the sheep in the barn.
That's right.
So
Which I immediately was like, "Oh God, we're doing hurting now."
Yeah.
This is Red
Work
Dead
your damn
Redemption.
neck.
Fuck.
John Marston Jr. all over again. Yeah, gonna do it with the baby under an arm too. What did he was like? Here, I'll take the baby. You get the sheep. She's like, no, I got this.
No.
should have left the
Ellie, what the fuck is wrong with you? But okay.
You get the sheep in the barn. There's some funny dialogue here. But then you have your a PTSD flashback about Joel.
Hey, how'd you get out? Come on, little dude. Come on, little guy. Do you want to eat? home. You're home. Breathe. Okay. I'm gonna take him, okay? Come on. Come here, sweetie. Come here. Sorry. I don't know what... I was just bringing in the... It's okay. Here we go.
Something falls. There's a bang.
Like a mop or bucket.
Yes.
falls
Also,
over.
so first of all, one of the sheep is out. There's a baby sheep in the back.
Small sheep.
And immediately
Sinister looking.
Oh my god, because it's all
Yeah, I
dark
know,
and there's
I didn't
I'm
like
like,
that at all.
oh,
And
there's
you can hear the wind picking up outside.
because you have the kid too, and I'm like, there's an infected. There's someone
bad.
back.
Yeah.
Fucking Abby is in here or something.
Yeah, that's what I saw too.
And yeah, the rig just falls, and the bang takes it's the bang of the golf
Yeah.
club in a way that I'm
yes.
like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Takes you back. You start screaming.
Yeah, she has a full blown like PTSD flashback.
Panic attack, yeah.
Completely loses it.
Dina comes, gets the baby.
This has happened before. Because
This happened before,
Dina's
yeah.
like,
And you
oh,
can read her-
again, huh? She's like, yeah, I don't know what happened. Fuck this. I'm
You can
really
read
sorry.
Ellie's journal
Yeah.
at any point during all this and see how much she's been struggling with
Which is
it.
very key for the like if you read her journal, her motivation makes sense in a way that
And they
like,
do direct you to the journal in a way that they don't in a lot of the game.
Yeah. I think you
because
have to read it. It's
It
that
will
night
open it
scene.
in front of you,
Yeah, that
whether
night
you
scene
choose to
have
read it or not.
get in
Yes.
there. But yeah, she is like, as someone who struggles with mental illness, I can empathize 10,000% with like she's writing her like I keep dreaming of him. My skin physically feels like it's on fire in a way that like she has to deal with it. It is she's either going to kill herself or she has to go and kill Abby or do something about
Right.
this.
You can't just get over it.
Yeah.
Which for me was the first time that I was like, now I'm in.
Yeah.
Now I get the Abby
taught-
thing. Because before it was for Joel and whatever, I didn't understand why the fuck she wanted to do. As soon as they really nailed that thing in of like, now it's for Ellie, who is somebody that I do care about, me personally as playing this game, I was like, okay, all right, now I see it. Now I get it.
I do not agree with the criticism that her motivation for this last part didn't make sense.
Yeah, no.
I couldn't agree less.
No, because I felt it obviously not strong, like in the same strong way because these are fictional characters. But I guess getting right to it, Ellie, flash forward a few days or a day. So
I think it might be that night, maybe even. Like gets up in the middle of the night.
No. Sorry. First, she's got to. She's hunting, and she comes home from hunting, and there's a horse outside.
Oh yes.
And she's like, "Oh, someone's
Fuck!
here."
I knew who that was immediately.
Yeah. And
In a way that I'm like, no, get out, Ellie. You
There's
should just
no
be like,
way.
get the fuck out of here. What are you doing here?
I'm not only racing our clock, but I'm racing my phone dying, which would be a disaster.
We got no clock on this side. Don't
No,
worry.
that's true. Joel or Tommy's in there, and Tommy kind of makes his pleasantries.
Looks like shit. Tommy, you look like shit.
Yeah.
He's not moving very well.
No.
Fuck out of here. Go back to your old folks' home, you
Okay,
cripple. I hate you, Tommy.
Just being mean.
I hate Tommy. By the end of
Oh, yeah.
the
No,
conversation
you're
you have with
supposed-
Tommy,
you should hate
I
Tommy.
fucking hate Tommy at the end of
Yeah.
this game.
Yep. Preach.
Fuck him.
Yeah, no, he's a real piece of shit.
I thought he was my uncle.
Yeah.
I thought he was family.
He
you
was,
know?
I loved him until this moment.
Nah, he's changed.
Yeah.
He's changed.
No,
He never
fuck that.
cared about us. He just wanted revenge.
And Tommy says, "I found her. I found Abby.
Yeah.
I need you to go get after it." And Dina's like, "We're not about that anymore."
And Ellie's like, we're not about that anymore.
Well, Ellie is much more conflicted. She basically
Or
just
are
says
we?
like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
And there's a great shot.
you promised me. You promised me we was gonna get vengeance.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
piece of
physically
shit.
like sitting on the couch playing this game, shaking my head, being like,
So am
"This is fuck off."
So am I.
Fuck off.
were
right
happy.
now.
I'm
Like,
so upset
fuck
with
you.
Tommy.
Yeah, I'm so glad you feel that way because I was the exact same way.
Joel's brother to a fucking fault.
And there's a great shot here of Dina chasing Tommy out to basically just give it to him
Yeah.
about being like, "Don't ever
you
come
even,
back
you even
here."
hear the start. She's like, what the
Yeah.
hell was that?
Yeah, you can't come in here and do that. We're trying to get over this stuff. And the camera just like slowly pans away from the window down to Ellie, who's just staring at the map.
Looking at the map.
Yeah, and you immediately are like, it's decided.
Worst timing. Like we just had that big flashback. And,
Yeah.
God damn it, Tommy.
Now we're that night Ellie can't sleep. She checks her diary, like
Yeah.
we said, kind of forces you to check the diary, which is full of her inability to forget. And then she picks up a guitar and gets one of her trademark guitar-inspired flashbacks. Flashback of the dance.
Yes,
The dance that took place
finally.
the night before you left at the start of the game.
This was the E3 trailer we
this
saw.
was the E3 trailer.
I even
yeah.
texted you being like, "Is this in the game or was that just a promotional?"
It's
thing?
the barn that they set up in real life with
the kiss.
lights
You
and
probably remember
Yep.
the Dina kiss.
The kiss.
This is what I remember the most.
Outstanding.
Yes, that was when everyone started poorly reviewing the game. That wouldn't be out
Oh, jeez.
that wouldn't be out for a little while.
Lesbians, huh? No, thank you.
Not for me. The performance. This is probably my favorite, like, not playing part of the game. I love the performances from everyone involved in
Yeah.
this. Jesse and Dina have recently broken up, as we know, and Ellie and Dina dance, and the chemistry between them is unbelievable. Dina says, "Everyone's staring at you. Maybe they're threatened by you," and Ellie's like, "I'm
such
just
a
a
good
girl.
scene.
I'm not a threat." And she says, "Oh, Ellie, I think they should be terrified of you." Just give me goosebumps.
Kisses her.
Kisses her.
They're even like, it's so realistic that they're kind of gross. They're like gross and sweaty and
Yeah.
unshowered
in a way that you don't want to watch real people kiss
Yeah,
from
you're
that
like,
close.
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
this you guys.
And
This is
sounds
this is the apocalypse. Huh?
lip
Y'all haven't showered in a
smacking.
long time.
Yeah.
Gross.
Biggest Sandwich, Seth gets involved.
Oh, there's kids here.
Yeah,
This is a family event.
yes. Which it's like, you're probably the shittiest dude,
Yeah.
Seth.
Shut up.
You're
Seth.
drunk at this family event.
Yeah.
Why do they even let you live here?
Yeah. Like, it's only because you own the establishment that they even let you in the door.
Like the fact that you can carry that hatred past the world the way it is so fucking mind-boggling. And you know what? It's probably true.
Oh, I'm guaranteed.
There's 100% people out there that would live through a
Guaranteed.
fucking zombie apocalypse like this
Yeah.
and would carry through those fucking beliefs of like just stupidity. But anyways.
Calls Ellie a loudmouth dyke.
Yeah.
Which Ellie is spoiling for a fight.
That made my fists itch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look out.
But Ellie can't get to him before Joel does.
It's very good. I love it.
And Joel is stepping in.
Just gives
And
him one.
Yeah.
Without hesitation too.
Yeah.
Like,
Clocks
just
him.
like, here we go.
The fuck did you say?
Yeah.
But Ellie is not happy that Joel got involved because we know that Ellie and doesn't want anything to do with Joel anymore.
They're on bad terms right now. This is pre-forgiving.
But there's a great shot, and this is, again, more great mocap and performance stuff, where she says, "You had no right," and Joel is obviously very, like, embarrassed and sheepish, and he's like, "Okay then," and walks off. And there's just a quick shot of Ellie where you're like, oh, she kind of didn't really like the way she said that. Like, she feels a little bit bad about him walking off like that.
The performances are like incredible.
Right.
You get so much
Second
from just
to
the
none.
expression
That is
and the mocap.
the best part of this game, and there's a lot of good parts of this game. Back to present day. Great. The big line is I have to finish it. Dina comes down and finds you scooping up all your supplies, getting ready to leave, and Dina's like, just come back up to bed.
We'll talk about this
We'll
tomorrow.
talk about this tomorrow. And Dina turns away, and you're just, like, your shot is of Dina's face, and Ellie's like, I have to finish it. And Dina is just instantly knows it's fucking over.
She's like, I can't do this again, she says.
Yeah.
And Ellie says, well, don't.
And Dina says, Ellie says, I don't eat. I'm not like you. I don't sleep. I'm not like you. I'm not over it. And Dina says, I'm only doing this for you. This is hard on me too. And Ellie says she can't stay. Dina's pissed, says they can't do this again.
Which could mean a lot of things. All right. I don't think this ending is as sewn up as maybe some people think it is. Could mean a lot of things.
Yep, sure. I think there's a lot of people out there really looking for a happy ending.
Even just the glimmer of the potential of...
Sure. And we flash out to Santa Barbara.
Yeah, we're going.
Abby is... I got to motor through this. I don't know
Yeah,
what
we got to start.
Just send it to me just in case.
Also, there is a phone charger somewhere in this house. Usually. If it wasn't 1 a.m. and Kevin and I weren't sleeping above us, we could probably find it. Yeah, if you can send it to one of us, we can. I mean,
I've
I'm
got
sure we
lots,
could probably get through this as well.
Yeah.
It'll last for sure, but just in case.
This is going to be like the file of your phone's life.
Dong.
We're in Santa Barbara. Abby and Lev are checking on a tip they have.
Looking for fireflies.
Looking for the fireflies. They've got an address.
Check a house.
That's right.
Find a radio.
You find some notes pertaining to the Rattlers. A guy saying, Rattlers are coming, I'm not going back, and he offs himself in the bathtub.
Yeah, Rattlers.
We learn, Rattlers.
Not the drink. Not
Right.
the thing in front of you, a rattler. Clickers. Rattlers.
But not clickers.
I thought it was other slang. You know how in like Walking Dead, they're like, we got Zeds, we got Walkers, we got whatevers? That's
No,
not
the
Zeds.
Rattlers are the like human traffickers.
Oh, they're not a type of infected.
No.
Oh, they're the people who
slave
capture
owners.
Abby. Oh, I thought it was just
Yeah.
different slang for like, oh, they call them rattlers over here. That's neat.
We learned very little about these guys in a way. I have issues with this whole back end.
Except that they're mean.
Yes, they are mean.
Mean.
They're underdeveloped. They're not very interesting.
It seems like they set up. It seems like this is a trap that they set up.
They just need. That's not true.
You don't think so?
The writers of the game told me that wasn't true. That's
Really?
only
The
reason.
people on the radio are legit Fireflies? So they go into that house, they find the radio, they talk to someone like, hey, this is Abby out of whatever base.
And you're going to, yes, that's
and they're
all
like,
real.
go to the
and
dome.
I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
At the end.
Because the dome is full of these rattler people.
The dome is not full of these rattler people. We never get to the dome.
Oh, I thought the dome was where they take you.
No,
he's like,
you're going to Catalina Island.
Oh.
That's where you want to go.
There's a dome-like building,
and he's even like, he even says later when Ellie finds him, he's like, she's in the building with the dome. And I'm like, oh fuck, the dome from the Firefly message.
He's in the round building. Look for the round building.
I totally in my head interpreted that to be
no. Well, and that's important.
That's fair.
Yeah,
and
so it's not okay.
So anyway, we find notes about these rattlers who involved in some sort of slavery. You find the house you're looking for. You almost give up, but in the base, Lev finds a secret bunker,
bookcase that slides out,
and you find a radio and contact some Fireflies.
Yeah,
and the Fireflies are like, "We're at you prove that you are who you say you are." You're like, "My dad was at this location.
I was part of Salt Lake City crew or whatever."
Right, and they're like, "Oh wow, okay. You got to get to Catalina Island, approach the domed building, and we'll come to you."
Yeah,
and you leave the house. And get ambushed.
Yeah, and the Fireflies. There was legit Fireflies on the radio. That was not the people who immediately ambushed you.
Yes, we're led to believe.
Yes. What did the writers of the game tell you, Brandon?
I'll get there. So okay. So at the end,
I thought this was like a tweet or something you read.
It is, but it's based in some facts.
Okay. Sorry. Carry on.
You get
just grasping for meaning.
That's right. you get jumped and hauled away. Lev gets choked.
Just decked. Yeah. Oh man, does that big dude with the arms ever just? Poof.
Months later, Ellie's arrived. In
months later.
Yes. Months later. Yes. A long time has passed.
That is so fucked when you find Abby. Yes. Months.
Ellie's tracked Abby and the SS Owen to the coast. Finds the address. I'm going to skip most of the trip here, just for the sake of time. You run into a couple new mechanics that they don't really get to explore. One is the chained up runner.
Yeah, you can shoot the chain.
That you can shoot the chain or crawl right up to it and pop it off. Yeah. And
they got some clickers
later. About shooting it, that makes a lot more sense than what I did.
You also get a silenced automatic gun, which is super weird.
The SMG is so fucking good.
And which was it was good, but it was also just like a.
This is an action game now.
Here.
Yeah. Kill everyone.
Just kind of skate through this last little part.
Let's get this done.
And they have helmets now, which is a new ad.
The only thing that I want to talk about, too, in that was the bite thing.
Yes.
Ellie gets caught in this trap hanging upside down. They come to grab her.
Talked about that a little bit in part one, but yes, because I'd completely forgotten. Like, the infected are a threat. That's right.
Yeah.
And Abby, because the guy's like holding Ellie's hand up, like, you're gonna get bit, you're gonna get bit, and she just jerks her arm into it and does get bit.
But like pulls it into him, so he gets fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then shoots the other guy with the automatic from behind.
It's so good, man. Taking that fucking bite intentionally, knowing that she's immune. Like, yes, this is using our superpower.
The guy who she shot, who is still alive, is like, I'll tell you where she is.
You got time to find her before that infection gets you.
And then she kind of looks down and looks and smiles.
She just fucking wiped it across her head.
I had this fucking thought of like, what if it changed? What if she's not immune anymore?
I kind of wondered if we've been hearing about the thing evolving.
That's where my mind went. Obviously, that's not the case, but
I would have been mad. That would have been a step too far for me.
I know, but as soon as it happened, I was like, oh no.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
You carve your way through everyone. This is tough to stealth. I killed a lot of motherfuckers here.
Yeah, literally everyone. I killed at one point. I killed everyone. Yeah, where they're like, "What's going on down there?" I'm like, "There ain't nobody listening." They're all dead.
Radio silence.
All of them are dead.
And you get to a holding cell where they have a lot of the people that they have been kidnapping and doing God knows what with. It seems to be somewhat, at least, turning people infected, intentionally turning people infected.
Some kind of slave labor. They go to like work camps.
Not even
until
somewhat. There's one zombie who is chained up where you hear one guy be like he's like taunting him or whatever. Yeah, like, you probably shouldn't have fucking tried to escape that one time, you dumbass or whatever. Like, Yeah, like
Yeah,
they are fully
they're doing,
letting
like-
them turn and
Yeah, for their own amusement. They're
And
fucked.
I was reading a thing too where like apparently the total loss of self, apparently you are still a little bit, or it's implied that you're still a little bit self-aware as a runner. It isn't until you fully become a clicker or on the transformation to the clicker stage where the fungus like takes your head and blows it up or whatever.
Makes sense.
That you lose yourself. So a lot of those infected runners are
fuck.
because like you can even hear them. You can even hear them talking too. Sometimes.
Where was
It's
that?
true.
Was that in like a
I would have
pickup?
to. This was just from me, like frantically
Oh, I see.
being like,
Yeah.
"Last of Us 2 Easter eggs. What do we know here?"
Yeah.
Just like reading through a bunch of stuff.
So you get to the holding cells. You basically like start the revolution by letting everyone out, and
Just fucking tossing guns to people.
and people are grabbing their guns.
Kill
and
someone on your way out.
Solo.
Do me a big help.
They point you in the direction of Abby. Said you're down by the pillars. You can't miss her.
Pillars. Okay.
And
She's
he's probably
probably
already dead.
Yeah.
And you get down there. We'll talk about the pillar walk.
Yeah.
They very much intentionally draw your eye to a very Abby-looking.
I thought it was her.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't find her. I'm like, oh, it's a girl with long hair, I guess.
So they're like essentially crucified, for lack of a better term.
But you're like
Yes.
held up, so your shoulders dislocate.
Right. It's
Yeah.
one straight up pole.
Aren't
There's
you
no
upside
T.
down
No,
also?
they're right side
No,
up.
they're
Okay.
upside up. And this person is either dead or just passed out with their arms up but head forward, and there is a long red ponytail dangling off of this person.
The braid. The telltale
Right.
fucking braid.
Which immediately you go to, there's
Oh.
Abby. But it was not.
No.
But here's where my mind. I'll talk you guys through how
Sure.
I played through this because it was fucked. So I went through. I saw that person. I'm walking all the way around her pole, being like, "Well, where's the fucking interact
can't
button?"
find
Like,
it.
Okay, and then like I go up to this other person and hit it, and they kind of like move and like they pull their head back and go, "It's you," and I'm like, "Okay, I don't know who this is, but they might be able to tell me where fucking Abby is, so this makes sense. Pull this one down, and they can tell me which one Abby is."
Yeah.
And then that one comes down and immediately goes over to a younger kid and pulls that one down and picks them up in her arms the way that Abby had so many times, and that was when I was like,
I recognize that strength anywhere.
"You're Abby," because she is fucking like
She's
gaunt.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
thin
Hair
and
is
wasted
short,
away.
like short, like
Yeah.
buzzed, I think.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And like thin, no muscle at all.
yeah,
And it's like
she's fucked
the
up.
drastic changes that
Almost-
they put into her were amazing.
Almost like you had to balance the playing field for a
Yes.
fist fight between
Make a
Ellie
real-
and
make a
Abby.
believable fight.
Holy shit, that was such a crazy moment to see. Like, that's the same fucking person. Like, what?
For me, it was like she was still up there when I knew it was her, but it was like I got to the point where I could just tell the eyes, and I'm like, oh, you look so different except for your eyes.
It's been a rough 4 months, eh?
Yeah.
So she grabs Lev. She's like, the boats are down here. She's not even like she's
Just
out of it.
literally,
Yeah.
like, just,
Yeah.
boat,
We gotta-
let's
boats are
go.
down here.
We
Let's
gotta
go.
go. Let's go.
And you get down to the boats.
No talking.
You're no talking.
You each push a boat off in
Yeah.
separate directions.
She puts Lev in her boat,
Yeah.
and you're kind of throwing your stuff in your boat, your backpack and everything. And there's another great one-note moment where there's just a quick shot of Joel after getting hamburgered that goes back to Abby kind of staring in her boat, and then there's just this ominous like, boom.
Yeah.
And
It's
you're
the.
like,
I think it might be the
"Oh."
note from the.
Could be.
Where
Yeah.
she's like, pong.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It totally could be.
It super reminds me of that.
Yeah.
Undertaker.
And she turns around and she's like, "You got to fight me. We got to finish this."
Yeah.
We're
in a
doing
way,
this
like
now.
she's almost leaving, and then she turns back,
Yeah.
and it's just like, fuck,
Yeah.
we gotta fight.
Because you got to imagine she's at that point now where she's like, "Well, I could go back,
Yeah.
but I'm just gonna have these dreams again."
Yeah.
And even Abby's like,
I'm not fighting you.
nope,
There's
not
no
doing
way.
it.
You can kill me. I'm not fighting you.
Going the fuck home right now.
So then you do something that makes me really mad, and you put a knife to Lev's throat.
Yeah.
And you're like, "You're fucking just gone at
You're a
this
garbage
point."
person,
Ellie
Abby, or
is
Ellie.
just gone.
Who really lost the light, L?
Right. And Abby's like, "Okay, we'll fight."
Yeah.
You have a fist fight.
What a fucking fight!
What a fight.
Holy
Like,
shit!
Shades of Snake and
Totally.
Snake and Ocelot.
Also, Ellie using the knife the whole time. Still, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
Ellie
I'm here to
seemed to
kill
just
Abby.
be
I'm not
into
here for an
killing.
honorable
Well,
fight.
why didn't she just walk up to her and fucking stab her in the
Because
neck?
she's a fucking broken person who has this weird code.
That's
Right.
true. But yeah, like you're hacking her, and there's like actually showing the signs of the knife cutting across her shoulder
gross.
and her face, and like
And also, if Abby was at full strength, like we would have, just, she would have
this would
literally
be
ripped us,
over.
picked us up
Game
like
over.
Bane and just
Yeah.
broke our fucking back.
game over.
the fight turns into a quick time event with you trying to drown Abby in the water. Abby bites off your 3 fingers. 2 fingers.
2 fingers.
2 fingers.
Yeah, pinky and ring.
On your
left hand, because it's your fret hand.
Your fret hand. And you freak out. You're like, but you keep her down there.
Yeah.
You're just about to you finish her off, drown her, and then you get the shot of Joel on the porch.
Yes.
Which is the equivalent of the smiling daddy in the dream, where she's like,
he's very content.
Yes.
I think we might have.
Looks happy.
Was this in part 1 where we get the Ellie? Yeah, it is in part 1 where the Ellie is like, I'd like to try to start forgiving you. We talked about that, right?
No, we're not there yet.
That's after this?
Yes.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Bites off the fingers.
Because that scene
That's what
is
turns
from
it around.
Right.
Okay.
like that, him looking and smiling. He's on that deck, I assume.
Yes, yeah.
Like they are
That
either
looks
about
like
to,
the
or
start
either
of
just,
the next scene.
just
Yeah.
have
Okay.
had that
Yeah,
conversation. But yeah, he's very like peacefully smiling at the camera when she has this flashback of Joel being like, he just legitimately looked happy.
Yeah.
Like just like
and she just kind of falls off Abby, and she's like, just go, just take him and leave.
she's so
You already paid the finger price. Just
Yeah.
finish it at this point, I guess.
Yeah, which like I don't want to say I was unhappy.
No, I was-
because at the end of the day I was like, okay, both characters
Yeah.
at least found their way out. But it's like, God, I wish you would have found your way out right before you lost the fingers.
Yeah, when she's like, just go, it was very much this like, oh, thank God. This like release of tension. I really wanted both these people to live at the end of this game.
Yeah.
So did I, but I also like I bounced back and forth so much on how I feel about her walking away at the end of that, where it's just like you didn't want to, and then you did want to, and then you went through all that shit to do it, and then you finally get there and you've got her, and then you decide, no, I'm good.
Yeah,
Where I'm
she
just
walked.
like,
She walked right up to the ledge and looked over.
It's
and
not
was
that I
like,
dislike it.
You know what?
I
can't jump.
I'm so frustrated with it. Where I'm like, you're so stupid.
Imagine how fucking Dina feels.
You got nothing out of this adventure, except for you could argue that she never would have got the closure without having her like life in her hands.
Yeah, it would have killed her.
Right.
Like she would have done something stupid that got her killed.
Which is hypocritical of me, because I said earlier that's what I wanted. I needed her once it was made clear that this was more for Ellie getting her closure. That's what I was in this for, and she got that. But the way to get it was just like, fuck this.
It's very wishy-washy and frustrating, like the ways that real people are. To me, it felt like like people are fucking stupid and obstinate and have to make their own mistakes is kind of the key part of it. Like she had to get right up to that ledge and look over and be like, no, fuck this. I can't do this.
And to have it like right there, like I could do it now. I'm finally at the point, like I've got there. I win.
She had to have that moment of power. She had to be able to make the choice, right? She never had the choice before.
Right.
It always
She
been
kept
made
getting
for
her
her.
ass kicked every single time.
And then to do the reveal with the finger thing after that, which
it's heartbreaking.
and I hadn't even thought about it, and I don't know if any of you had.
Oh, I immediately did.
No, yeah,
like
until
that's
literally
her fret
until
hand.
she looked at the guitar, and I was like, oh fuck me.
And they display it in a really good way where they let you play the guitar mini game again, and it's just
those
clonking
bottom two strings are totally
on the
muted.
notes.
We're jumping ahead a little bit.
Yeah, well, yeah. So everyone goes on their merry way. Ellie gets back to the farm, and
empty.
It's empty.
Ellie has maybe, when we see the scene, Ellie has maybe been back to the farm. Some things have changed about Ellie. She has her was it her bracelet? What,
People were making a big deal
her
about
jewelry, and like it's just time has passed, right? There, theoretically,
Fingers have healed.
Fingers are healed enough
Face
that she can put
stuff
it on
is
the,
all
on the
You have to remember that
strings and things.
months have passed.
Yeah,
because even just to get back, months have passed.
But there is enough wiggle room that like enough time has passed just in that end scene that who knows what might have, she might have went and talked to Dina and Jackson because they're like, hey, you're always welcome back, and Jack, who fucking knows?
Yeah,
right. I'm not saying it's a happy ending.
Yeah,
I'm just saying I don't think Ellie got back. Literally, the first thing she did was go to the house and was like, oh, it's empty. I'm so heartbroken. Like, I think Ellie has probably processed this thing and is like, I'm gonna go get the guitar maybe and just see whatever's kicking her. My diary, I guess.
Well, and another thing a lot of people were saying were like, she didn't seem surprised.
Yeah.
That there was no one home, but it was like you could tell from fucking the second you walked into the into the field, you're like, this house is fucking empty.
Yeah, but I tend to lean more towards. Yeah, I don't know if she had gone and talked, gone back to Jackson, did all that. I don't know about any of that, but I feel like she was already aware that the house was empty. I lean that way,
totally,
and I feel like she made the conscious decision to go back and grab some things. Be it the guitar, be it the diary, whatever, picked up that guitar, played it, and couldn't. And then that's when she was kind of, to me, when she had her moment of like, okay, like I'm at peace. Like this is all behind. It's all in the past. I don't need any of this shit. It's done. It's done. Right.
Little again, very on the nose, like symbology of like she paid the price. Right. The symbology of not being able to play the one skill that Joel taught her. Right. The one piece of
Joel that's still with her. Right.
Exactly.
She got to learn to play left-handed now.
On the fucking
the one thing I didn't like about like the theory surrounding like, well, she's been gone forever, is I feel like a lot of people were discounting.
You can't just play left-handed. You need a left-handed guitar.
Yeah,
you
totally.
can't just flip a guitar over. I had to think about that.
Jimi Hendrix speaks otherwise.
Normal mortals need a left-handed guitar.
I feel like a lot of people with the theory where it's like, oh, her wounds are healed and everything, as I think a lot of people were forgetting that they tell us it's months
Took a long
to
time
get from one to the other.
Santa Barbara.
But the bracelet is something worth speculating about.
And even like, again, I don't think it's a happy ending. Remember talking about to Jackson and was like, hey, Dina, I didn't kill her. And Dina's like, great, you're too fucking damaged for me, so fuck off.
So we get to our last scene when she's playing the guitar. Trying to play the guitar.
Oh, those nubs on the strings. Yes. Really. My healed working fingers that have never been cut off hurt on strings, let alone my fucking nubs.
And like the fucking muted strings like are just such a... Conk. For anybody who's ever tried to even attempt to play the guitar, even as little as I
guitar
have,
player.
Like when you're first learning and you're trying so hard, but you hear that like punk of just the mute, and you're like,
right.
it sounds so fucking bad.
And all the songs she played too are all picking songs. She literally cannot play Future Days anymore. Is the name of that Pearl Jam song.
We get Joel on the porch. This is the shot we saw.
It's code for smoking weed. We get Joel very high.
And Ellie has come to Joel's porch after the incidents at the party.
Yep.
And very much starts by laying into Joel.
Is this where he's drinking the coffee?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Asks what he's drinking. He's like, coffee. I got it from a few people.
No, embarrassed to say what I had to trade for it.
What are you drinking?
Coffee.
Where'd you get that?
Those people that came through last week.
Oh.
A little embarrassed as to what I had to trade to get it, but it's not bad.
I had Seth under control.
Yeah, I know.
And you need to stop harassing Jesse about my patrols.
Okay. Dina. Is she your girlfriend?
No. No, that was just one kiss. It doesn't mean anything. I don't know why she did that.
But you do like her.
So stupid.
Look, I have no idea what that girl's intentions are, but I do know that she would be lucky to have you.
You're such an asshole.
I'm not trying to.
I was supposed to die in that hospital. My life would have fucking mattered. But you took that from me.
somehow the Lord gave me a second chance at that moment, I would do it all over again.
Yeah. I don't think I can ever forgive you for that. But I would like to try.
She starts by kind of laying into him, being like, yeah, you know, I don't need your help.
Yeah. I fight my own battles.
And stop being mean to Jesse about patrols. Just stop being my dad, basically. And Joel kind of starts asking, like, okay, yeah, that's fine. So this girl that you kissed, is she like
Dina girl?
Yeah, is she your girlfriend? And Ellie's very much like,
I don't know.
It's stupid.
No.
She and she's super embarrassed by it, and you can tell even by her interactions with Dina that she's embarrassed while it's happening then too. And then Joel says, whatever this girl's intentions are with you,
yes,
she would be lucky to have you.
That's right. When he started saying, he was like, well, whatever this girl's intentions are, I'm like, oh, Joel, careful now.
Boy, don't do it.
Yeah, she'd be lucky to have you. Like,
No.
fucking hey, buddy. Good save.
And Ellie obviously takes that to heart, but then gets very mad very quickly and is like, you had no right to do what you did back in Salt Lake City. You had no right to do anything. I can't forgive you for that. And Joel says, if I had the choice to do it all again, I would do the exact same way.
Again. Yeah, she's like, I can never forgive you for this. And he's like,
Yeah.
that's fine. I would do the exact same thing.
And that was another thing, just even though it was pretty quick when he's like, if I had the choice to do it all again, I'm like, oh God, don't say you'd change it. Don't say that. And then he's like, I'd do it all again. I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah.
Stuck to his guns.
Yeah. And Ellie says, I can't forgive you for that, but I'd like to try.
Yeah.
And then I almost cried here because Joel is like, I'd like that.
Because he has just that, he has like a little
voice break.
Yeah, a little crack in his voice of like, I'd like that. Like, and you're just like, oh.
They're going to repair this relationship here.
Yeah.
But it's kind of all hitting you at the same time where it's like, oh, they got there.
Yeah.
Like they weathered the storm of Ellie finding that out.
It's this roller
and now they're
coaster.
willing to rebuild. But then it also is hitting you at the same time.
Oh,
You're like,
that was also one day
Yes,
before
and Joel dies
got
one day
thrown
into
to the
this.
golf club. Fuck.
So
and then they play Wayfaring Stranger, and away we go.
everyone cries.
Yeah.
One more thing to touch on before we get to kind of general thoughts, if we have any. The main menu changes at this point.
Yes, it does.
It is now a day menu. Main menu. Boat has washed aside, one of the boats that you escaped with. And you are at Catalina Island. And the place that you're supposed to go meet the Fireflies is in the background. The Catalina Hotel Casino.
DLC?
No, I think it is implying that they got there. They've actually said there's not going to be any story DLC, so I know it's not actually DLC.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it implies that
So how do
Abby and Lev made it.
What's the thing that we know the Fireflies were not the ones on the radio?
Because it was real.
Yeah, because it was
that
real.
dome.
Oh,
real.
because
dome
you
was at
see,
Catalina
I see,
Island.
because you
Yeah.
see the island at the end.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Which I guess doesn't necessarily
No.
confirm
Okay.
it because you don't know who's there, if there's anybody there.
No, but the fact that it does exist and you see a
Yes.
boat, I wonder if like part 3 or who knows if there will be more, but like
Yeah.
maybe
Well,
the
they flat out said they're not doing any story DLC. For
yeah,
this.
they said no single player DLC. That doesn't mean they won't do another game.
I don't want another game.
I also
feel like
said
that's
that. I
something
also said
worth-
that after the first one.
Yeah. I don't know
if it's
Abby and Lev.
If it's Abby,
Yeah,
I
and
don't
that Abby
need
makes
any
way
more.
more sense.
And like
but
that menu, they could even just use the same menu screen, and it opens with them on Catalina Island, and then they either do or don't find the fireflies.
sure,
'cause that is a
and
big
them
question
finding
mark.
the fireflies could be the start of
Totally.
anything. It doesn't mean. Like, it doesn't tie up like there can be no more games, but I think it does very like that's the happy ending for me.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, I don't think in my head canon, Ellie is going to live a lonely life.
Yeah,
and
probably.
try and rebuild it from there. No Dina, can't play the guitar. Don't know what happens to her. Probably becomes a Eugene, or not a Eugene.
Would she be so
a
lucky?
A Boris-like city defender with a bow.
I wonder. Because the potential for the cure is still out there, right?
Yep.
There is still maybe. That's not a story I want to hear told.
And like that's
But
what worries
maybe,
me about a third one. I think the most is because the Fireflies are back again. That if there is some sort of a European branch of the Fireflies or something where they have some other brilliant scientist that's
Flies,
still alive over
Diffure.
there, that they are like,
Fleet
no, we
Diffure.
could do it again if we go find that girl who's immune. I could totally go.
And I mean, even as I say that, like the only version of the cure story I want told is one of my favorite things in Walking Dead is like the cure is never it's an impossibility. They write it out there like this will never happen.
Yeah.
It would be very Last of Us if they do eventually get Ellie on the lab table and cut her open and like, hey, look, wow, we found it.
Yeah.
And then they cure this cordyceps and nothing changes.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
wolves are still out there. The fire, all these factions, the world is still completely broken.
Yeah, it never gets back to what it was.
That would be the most fucking Last of Us in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I was saying, this is a happy story for Lev and Abby.
Yeah,
who I
and
think
again,
got
happy, very relative, meaning not dead.
that. Yes, or accomplish their goal.
Sure.
I think for me is the happy ending.
Yeah.
Like they set out to find Santa Barbara, and they found set out to
Catalina
find
Island.
Catalina Island,
Yeah.
and they found Catalina Island.
Yeah. Closing thoughts here, gang. We'll wrap this up. My goodness, almost over 6 hours of Spoilercast
Hell yes.
on The Last of Us 2. I never thought I'd see the day. We joked that we had to beat another podcast time,
Yeah.
and I think we did. we didn't have to talk about wars in other countries.
It was a dope video game.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Fucking probably the best video game I've ever played in my life.
Oh,
I would say.
hot damn.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of recency bias there, do you think?
Well, yes, absolutely. I mean, there always is, right?
Always,
You say
yeah.
that a lot, but I mean, as far as like
It's impactful.
an overall, yeah, like the emotions that it pulls out of you, the way it looks, the way it plays, I really enjoyed the combat.
That's a good playing game.
Oh, yeah.
Like the way that you could you'd get knocked back on your back sometimes, and you'd like boom, still hit the headshot. Like there's a couple moments where I felt like an actual like movie star in ways that you don't get that out of some games sometimes. And yeah, the story was great. The characters were great. The diversity was something that I actually really liked and found super refreshing because you just don't see a lot of that.
Yeah, it's a shame that one of this game's strengths is something that people
Hate for
want to shit
whatever
on.
reason.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I've even heard a lot of podcasts say that the diversity it could always be better, right? The inclusivity. There's only
This was-
3 black characters in this entire game, and
Yeah.
one of them is the big dude that you give the fucking Glasgow smile to,
And the other one's
one is
one that you beat the
Marlene.
fuck out of.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, it could always be better, right? And there are.
Yeah.
They all die? All the black characters?
That's what I'm trying to think of. Actually, I was going to say
Nora.
I think they all die.
Definitely
Isaac,
dies. Isaac dies. Yeah, they all die.
Marlene, big dude at the end. Yeah, that's really weird. That like,
It's fucked up.
And what's his name?
I guess Nora gets a little bit of screen time, but like
Isaac.
every black
No,
character
no,
you meet is
no,
like,
he's not black.
hey, it's me,
Oh.
and now I'm dead.
The
Yes.
Mexican guy.
Also Jesse. Also,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of the
Manny.
minorities.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
Yes.
plenty of people of color, but
Yeah.
Yes.
I heard one Waypoint talking specifically
point.
about black characters and the lack thereof. I very much enjoyed it. I don't know. I'm not offended by the things that seem to offend a lot of people. I thought the gameplay was better than fine. I think
Yeah.
it's a very like I say, maybe the most competent stealth action game we've had since Metal Gear 5.
Yeah.
It's heavy-handed. I don't get me
It's
wrong.
tough.
There
Yeah.
are some criticisms that I have for this game.
Yeah.
It's fine to criticize and still really love something. But
Yeah.
that story. Sometimes that story is like that story feels like the fucking hammer that Abby's wielding
Yeah.
in a way where that thing is just
Do
you're
you
just
get it?
And like you're I'm having fun. I'm having fun playing the game, but there's so many moments where I'm like, fuck this. Like I need to I took a 2-day break in the middle of playing a game, which I don't ever do. Usually once I get into a game, like I fucking play it. And like that's how like it's a heavy story game, right?
yeah.
Like,
Especially if you feel attached to like the first game.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Which I think is, and I think that in and of itself is super, I guess, unique to any other video game that I've ever played. I've never had like a game that's not like Call of Duty or something like where the campaign ends and you're like, yeah, we got the bad guy. And
Great.
like, there's something about like movies and video games that end in ways like this where you're just like, you've kind of got some questions and you're left up to your own interpretations of like how you felt about certain things and what does this mean and what does that mean and like why did she do this and like
we don't often get the quote unquote sad ending. This is definitely not a like textbook happy ending. Everybody got what they wanted. Here we go. And so it's kind of rare and shocking to be like, oh, actually things didn't work out for everybody.
Yeah, and for me, I love the music, love the performances.
The music is incredible, man.
My biggest problem with the game was, mostly story and pacing related. And the story
labor
things,
practices.
Yeah. Well, and the story wasn't, like, I feel like I don't know what happened with that Santa Barbara section. Like, that should either not exist or be way longer. Like, I don't understand why you couldn't find more story to tell in Santa Barbara and edit some down in Seattle in a way where it's like, well, tell me about these rattlers. Tell me about...
Do we know what the reworks were? Like, is that ever going to become a thing that anyone would ever know? Like, here's why we pushed the release date back, because we had to redo some shit. Like, we don't know what that was,
not.
right?
No.
Probably not.
No.
99%.
I mean, a lot of it was
stuff
COVID.
Is, well, yeah. And 99% of that stuff is QA, right? The script and the...
That's all done first.
Yeah, the ABCD, the framework of the game is usually the very first thing done, because then we got to make all the cutscenes work. And
so it's like, it's not like they could, like, drastically alter... Like take out half of that part of the game or anything, right? Like,
never say never, because I don't make games, but I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
But again, with 100-hour work weeks, maybe anything is possible.
I feel like you could take Seattle Day 1, 2, and 3 on both sides and just edit them down.
Yeah.
And put some time in Santa Barbara and be like, well, if you're going to put me in this new world or this new area, tell me some story in it.
Build it out a little bit. Maybe make it. This is a weird thing because I love that here's the game, no DLC, whatever. Yeah. But in a world where Santa Barbara's not on that game and it ends in the theater, and then maybe you get 10 hours of Santa Barbara stuff a little bit later as a DLC thing, like 3 months down the road.
Do you think that would be too Asura's Wrath?
No.
Where it's this doesn't feel like the ending.
No, because it's so detached, right? Yeah. It's the big break to the farm. And then when you open up on the farm, you're like, well, there's been a time break in real life. Okay, time has passed. Oops. Time has passed. I feel better about this earthquake. I don't know. I had that thought last night of like, if that last epilogue section was DLC, weirdly, that might have felt better to people in a way.
Do you think you cut at the theater? Do you cut
at
the end of, or at the farmhouse?
I think
I feel like I want some of the farmhouse.
I think you cut at the theater. I think you totally cut at the theater with Abby being like, Abby breaking the cycle and walking away, boom, roll credits. And then maybe you give like a post-credit thing to just be like, we're gonna have some DLC for you.
The other place you could cut is right after the PTSD attack.
That's where I was thinking too.
And just be like, and Abby would have to live with this. Yeah.
That'd be a good spot too. Yeah. That'd be a really good spot too, actually. But yeah.
Or like, I don't know, comes back to the ranch and Tommy's there.
Yeah, then it's more like a
she just shoots him in the head.
Oh, shit. And then boom, into black or whatever.
Yeah, that would have been a good one. Tommy's like, I found her.
Yeah.
Credits.
Whoops.
Yeah. Could have, like a lot of folks, I agree, could have used an editor. Could have very much used somebody to...
You're right, that last part
kind of resection things, maybe.
It was kind of unfortunate in like how detailed and like slow and stealth that whole game was. And then
you just wanted to get through it.
Here's an automatic gun.
It feels so
Kill
different.
Everyone.
It feels so different that like I think it might have, maybe it was DLC at one point. Like it's so weird and detached in a way that I'm trying to just rationalize.
Yeah, you could be onto something.
You found like 1 or 2 notes in that section of gameplay about who these guys were.
Yeah.
Like I left that game being like,
traffickers.
I don't entirely know what they were up to.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But
it's an
excellent game. I will say that it's probably my favorite game of the year
so far. Totally. Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Dethrone it, I'll say.
The music is so good. The music is god.
And these kind of games are always like just absolute juggernauts at the award style stuff where it's like, well, this is probably the best story. That's probably the best music. That's probably the best looking.
If you have beat the game and have some free time, I would recommend that you go and check out, I think it's in the extras, you can check out like the character models.
Oh, yep. You have to unlock them or something, don't you?
With like currency that you get or something. All I did was buy regular Abby and post Abby, and I just was comparing them. Like, I can't believe that this is the same fucking person. This blows my fucking mind.
Bad 4 months.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts, Brando? We'll wrap her up here.
No, I don't think so. I love the game. I think it did the thing a sequel should do, which is do everything that the gameplay that you remember about the gameplay in the first one and just do it better.
Yeah, improve on it.
And then take a story that you didn't know you needed and make it really incredible. So
And for me, what I look for out of a sequel, they didn't like tie a nice, tiny, neat little bow on it either. Like
Vintage Last of Us fashion. That is
It wasn't like, hey, they did end up curing it, and Ellie's alive, and
fast,
everyone's
loose ending.
good. Like, it was, it fucking took you on a goddamn journey.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap it up here. My goodness. Thank you very much for joining us for this 6.5 hour marathon.
Are we going out to the song?
Well, I'll probably do the credits song, the Wayfaring Stranger.
That's the only time I teared up in this whole fucking game.
Wayfaring Stranger.
Can you get both of them on there?
You don't even hear at the end of the... Yeah, we'll probably go out to Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker doing Wayfaring Stranger.
Good.
Thank you very much for listening to this extended Last of Us Spoilercast. We're going to get the heck out of here. If you enjoyed these Spoilercasts, or anything we do, Rolling Reckless, our D&D podcast, we play on Sundays. You want to roll one more dice? You can roll. Right. You can roll one more dice. Our video game podcast, which I guess you're listening to right now, Talking Reckless, our anime podcast, Super Saiyan Pod, Super Saiyan. Hit us with it.
11.
Knew it.
You had a lot of 11s.
I do.
A lot of 11s and 20s, yeah. If you want to support anything we do, head on over to patreon.com/Talking Reckless Podcast. You can get a bunch of exclusive content there for yourself as well. A couple new things we're trying out, some movie nights and some watch parties and things. If you want to head over there and check that stuff out. And I think that's all I have to say, other than Warren Barris. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. I really enjoyed talking about that fucking video game.
Hell yeah. I got the closure I needed here, I feel, in this Spoilercast.
As you tweeted earlier this week, or last week, depending on when you listen to this, like just learning these things and like how much it impacted us is kind of cool.
Yeah. I sort of didn't realize how much this game meant to me until we started talking about it here. Actually, until I started editing the podcast, the first Spoilercast, I'm like, man, my feelings hurt. This sucks.
Shit.
Brandon, you're the hardest job of all. Thanks for driving this thing. Holy shit.
Yeah, sorry it took so long.
No, don't be sorry. Thank you.
I worked that out in my head, and it was like, yeah, that's a nice 2.5 hour podcast.
Yeah, it was pretty close. Yeah, that was
3.
Extensive note taking and incredible attention to detail. Thank you very much. That was a ton of work from you.
You bet.
And you at home, thanks very much for listening. We'll see you here. Again, I don't really know when this is going up or what's going to come out, but check out TalkingReckless.com. You can find all our stuff. Otherwise, we're streaming pretty much every day over on twitch.tv/TalkingRecklessPodcast.
I'm so worried if you don't wrap this up, the power's going to go and we're going to lose.
Thanks for joining us. We gotta go. We'll see you next time.
You guys are...
I'm just a poor wayfaring stranger traveling through this world of woe. There is no sickness, no toil, nor danger in that bright land to which I go. I'm going there to see my mother. She said she'd meet me when I come. I'm just going over Jordan. I'm just going over home. I know dark clouds will gather around me. I know my way is rough and steep, but beauteous fields lie just before me, where God's redeemed their vigils keep. I'm going there to see my father. I'm just a going over home.
I'll soon be free from earthly trial. This body red in the old churchyard. I'll drop this cross of self-denial and go singing home to God. I'm going there to see my Savior. I'm going there, no more to roam. I'm just a going over Jordan. I'm just a going over home. I'm just a going over Jordan. I'm just a going over home. I'm just a going